Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Welcome to our midweek program. It's just so damn early, Josh. Sometimes it dawns on me how friggin' early it is.
Sometimes it does kind of punch you in the face, doesn't it?
I just don't want to. But we'll go ahead anyway. Appreciate you listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Company again today on the program, but he's an old pal at this point. There will likely be no awkwardness at all because he's an old pal. Pigs forward Marcus Foligno going to check in with us at 8 o'clock this morning. Something I'm looking forward to asking him about, Josh. I'm looking forward to asking him about a personal appearance he's making next weekend over at Fan HQ in the Ridgedale Mall. We know the folks who run that joint.
Yeah, great people.
I want to look like the owner of that place. I've mentioned it before. He's such a cool-looking dude.
You've got a bit of an obsession.
You might even call it a man crush.
Yeah, with Sean. The way he wears his hair, the way he dresses, when he is in our presence, you are laser focused on him.
I'm almost afraid to say anything to him.
The rest of the room does not exist.
No, not at all.
You bring it up enough to where I'm a little concerned about it. Fan HQ in Ridgedale.
This thing is going to be, I'd imagine, packed. They have such a lineup for this event.
Not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah, there's a bunch of players going to be there. And we can give you the details later on when we talk to Marcus.
I went to one of their signings not too long ago. Very well run.
Don't tell us who it was.
Okay.
But continue on, whatever you were going to.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's very, I mean, there's a lot of people there, but they have a method. They have it all sorted out. It runs so smoothly. I was very impressed.
Well, that's good to hear because I'd imagine every Wild fan that's able to make it is going to show up at this thing.
Absolutely.
It's half the roster that's showing up.
Yeah.
A few of the guys that I read about this morning that are scheduled to be there next weekend, they might be cut. You know what I mean? But there's so many guys from the roster. Some of them, I'm joking, of course. Do you think we could, how long ago was this you went to an autograph signing at Fan HQ?
About a month, 2 months ago.
You think there's any way we could guess who Dana crossed the Metro?
Well, it might be tough because I wasn't going for myself. I was going because my wife was.
It was like
I got it.
a Minnesota Viking.
I got it. It was Harrison Smith.
No, it was Cam Bynum.
Ah, darn it.
Who's now no longer with the team, so I jinxed him by going to that signing.
You're taking responsibility.
Vikings fans, you can blame me.
Cam Bynum.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been blamed for something that you had no responsibility over before?
Nothing as bad as your wife having a dream that you cheated and you getting in trouble for that.
Yeah, that was a bad day for me.
Is there anything else you can think of that you've been blamed for?
Maybe you had nothing to do with it.
That you had nothing to do with.
You were just there kind of supporting the people you were with.
Uh-huh.
And trying to be a good guy, is that kind of, and then all of a sudden maybe you were blamed for it?
And it all falls on you, yep.
Yeah, unfairly targeted, perhaps.
It's a very, very wonderful feeling.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, you can't really, Ashley.
What the hell is this? Josh, forgive me for noticing a text that was meant to go straight to you, but I couldn't help but notice here as I stare at our text machine. Something about, is this a joke? William H. Macy, the actor, will be making an appearance at Hy-Vee.
Does he, have his own soup or something? Or?
Right. Syrup or a salad dressing or
Hy-Vee. Maple Grove?
Someone look that up. They say Maple Grove today, 10 a.m., Hy-Vee, red-haired actor William H. Macy. He must have his own...
I'd love to meet William H. Macy.
Seasoning or...
Calendar of events. Click.
You would love to meet William H. Macy.
Yeah, I like that guy.
You do.
I'm not seeing anything directly.
There's got to be a joke in here. Oh, someone says he has his own whiskey? Oh, so the Hy-Vee
no way.
liquor store.
Oh, yeah, because they've had like Jason Momoa do those at the Hy-Vees where he shows up and signs a bunch of vodka bottles.
Well, that makes more sense when you mention a liquor store. All right, everyone has their own hooch now. That's very interesting. See if you can find anything on that. Again, there might be a joke of jokes being played on us. I don't know, but...
I mean, the person seems pretty sincere. Thanks for the heads up. We'll have to double check that. Maybe we can give them a call in between breaks here. Not the Macy's, but the Hy-Vee.
I hope we do, and they just laugh their asses off.
Like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
No, we're not having the dude from Fargo here to sign bottles of booze.
Thank you. I was sitting here trying to think. I mean, I can picture the guy, but what? I was sitting here trying to think of one movie that I've watched with William H. Macy, and Fargo is it. He was very good in that movie. I like when he has his temper tantrum with the ice scraper. That's my favorite scene from, what do you call it again? I just said it. Fargo.
Most people, I believe, know him from Shameless.
Yeah.
And this is very on par that he's promoting whiskey.
Never saw it. Shameless. Is he a drunk on the program?
Oh, a really bad drunk.
Like a Leaving Las Vegas drunk?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but as our old movie reviewer would pronounce it, didn't you see Boogie Nights?
Oh, sure.
He was in Boogie Nights,
yes,
was he not?
Our old movie review guy, God rest his soul, correct?
Yes, unfortunately. Young guy, too. When
He
passed.
used to drive us nuts. Because was he Canadian or something?
Yes, he was Canadian.
He was Canadian. So Canadians talk funny. I would know. I'm the number one Shoresy fan in town. Canadians pronounce things a little differently than we do, and it used to drive us up a friggin' wall when he would pronounce the movie Boogie Nights as Boogie Nights.
So it's called the Boogie Nights.
My dad was not Canadian, but he also would say boogie instead of boogie. Anyway, yes, outstanding movie. He's not in a lot of it. He dies early in the movie. But I love that friggin' scene from Fargo. All the stress of setting up this murder of his wife, and everything's going wrong, and it's a cold, dark night here in Minnesota, and he's scraping the ice off of the windshield of his car. Then suddenly he has a total meltdown. A buddy of mine does that bit perfectly in the winter whenever we go out to his car, and he's scraping. He has his little William H. Macy
Where I
temper
first
tantrum.
really enjoyed him was Wild Hogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh,
I thought he
yes.
was so funny in that movie.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
How is it that movie was enjoyable?
Oh, it doesn't seem like it would be.
No. But if I remember right, when we saw the previews, we thought, well, this is going to be a massive
It looks stupid.
pile of feces.
It's very entertaining.
You got Tim Allen in there.
Your favorite.
I was gonna quiz you because that is your favorite actor.
I love him. I love all of his sitcoms. Anyway, so back to this Minnesota Wild autograph signing going on next weekend at Fan HQ in Ridgedale, including our guy Marcus Foligno. It got me thinking. Text in to our number, 651-989-9393 if you have an answer. Who have you waited in line for to get their autograph or maybe a picture? Is that as common as it used to be? Probably not, because now folks can just go online and become followers or online friends with famous people.
Well, I think it still happens quite a bit.
Yeah, with the Comic-Cons and stuff?
Mall of America certainly has a lot of events. Joe Satriani, for me, I waited, a guitar player, legendary guitar player, if you're not familiar. I waited, I think, 2 hours to meet Joe Satriani, and it was worth every minute just to spend 30 seconds with the guy.
Text in if you've waited in line to meet a, quote, famous person, unquote, and get their autograph. Who was it?
Twins Fest?
Who was it you were waiting on? I'm sorry?
But Twins Fest, been to plenty of Twins Fest.
And you waited in line for autograph?
Yeah, I mean, mostly with my kids. But,
young people?
Yeah.
Joe Satriani. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I had forgotten about things like Comic-Con. Sure, that's a big thing. Folks will wait all day long to meet the dude who played Jason in Friday the 13th and things like that.
You know why I think it's not top of mind for you? Because a lot of the folks now are like influencers and stuff like that.
Oh.
I know at the mall, there was one day it was packed, absolutely packed at the Rotunda. And there was a woman there, a young lady, who they had her picture up, everything. Hey, she's going to be here at this time. It was packed. There was people circling all the floors just to look down at this person. And I had to ask my kids who this was, and it was some like TikTok star or Instagram star or something like that I've never heard of.
I wonder who it was.
We would do it as kids. The ones that I remember, and I'm sure there are some that I forgot. Not that it was a regular thing for us, but in the 80s, I think there was always someone at a record shop or at the mall giving out autographs. The ones I remember, 80s rock band Britney Fox. We've spent time reminiscing about that act.
Really? You waited in line to meet them somewhere?
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting them. I'm just surprised to hear that.
They made an appearance at a record shop, I think, when their album hit it big. I was an 11th grader at the time when their album hit it big. And yes, Josh, I waited in that line, long line of maybe 11 people. Really, when we went over, this was also at Ridgedale, if I'm not mistaken. When I was an 11th grade kid, Britney Fox's album was selling quite well. So they made an appearance at the local record shop at Ridgedale. And I remember when we walked into the mall thinking it would be like what I see on music videos where just there was maybe 10 or 11 people. And so they were desperate to, I guess, kill the boredom because not only did they sign anything we wanted them to sign, but they wanted to talk and talk and talk just because they knew, Christ, we're stuck here for 4 hours and nobody showed up. So they're suddenly asking us questions about us, and I was a little thrown by that. You know, you guys are big shots. You're big rock stars. What are you asking me about me for? Well, now I get it. They were just trying to make the time go by. Kiss, I waited in line to meet Kiss more than once. And then the other one that I can remember that I've told you guys about, maybe when I was about a 7th grader, I waited in line at Wayzata Boat Works to meet Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Mean Gene Okerlund.
That's cool.
Those are the ones I can remember. A lot of texts coming in.
My all-time favorite that I waited in line for were the band members of A Day to Remember, who have a new album out, by the way. It's really good. But I was really sad because their lead singer wasn't there, Jeremy McKinnon. I was so pumped to meet him, and then I got up there and I was like, wait a minute. Where's the main guy?
Sometimes, and you've learned now that that's how it works.
Oh, I've had that happen a couple times.
8 times out of 10.
And it's the worst when it's like back, like when we were at the Edge. We used to do a lot more of that kind of thing. You know, artists were more willing to do it. It seemed like, kind of to your point, Nick. And I had been a part of the, with the radio station, helping people kind of go meet them. And there was a couple times, big bands. Nobody but the one person, nobody really knew who it was, would show up from the band. And it was very disappointing to people. That was pretty terrible.
Yeah, come on and meet...
Metallica.
Well, we mean Jason and Kirk.
Right.
We mean Robert.
Not even Kirk, maybe.
Right, not even Kirk. Bon Jovi is here. Well, we mean David Bryan and Tico Torres and Alec Von Such. And,
I almost got killed at one of those meet and greets, and this was at a home and garden show.
That's not a place you want to die.
I know. And I look over, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's Christopher Knight, Peter Brady, from the Brady Bunch.
Sure.
And I almost felt bad for the guy because there's no one there, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Peter Brady, that's awesome.
I'd spend all day talking to him, if he would let me.
Exactly. So I'm walking down this aisle, and he's straight in front of me just across the way, like basically across the intersection. So I go up, and I was like, oh, my gosh, Christopher Knight, and I could barely get out a sentence, and some guy comes and grabs me, like furious. I didn't realize there was a line on the other side where I couldn't see it. And the line was huge. I mean, people were for sure waiting an hour to meet Peter Brady.
So for a second there, Peter Brady
I thought I had free reign.
And his security team thought you might have been a madman who was...
They thought I was like a major a-hole. But from where I was, I mean, even my wife didn't see it. She's more observant than me.
Didn't notice.
No, it was the line was huge, and I missed it.
Sir.
I honestly thought... Everyone listening, I thought your aunt and mom, who I'd imagine were there, just like my mom and aunt probably were going to kill me right there at the home and garden show, and that's no place to die.
Wow, these are really interesting questions here. Questions isn't the word. These are really interesting answers that are being texted in by our listening audience. Answers to the question, who have you waited in line to meet, get an autograph with, get a picture with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt,
That's
that's
really
awesome.
sweet.
Ric Flair, Shaquille O'Neal, Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, Mark Hamill, Sam Elliott. Dang.
Yeah, there's plenty of athletes coming in. One that's an oddball one here, not the person, but just one I wouldn't expect. Dweezil Zappa.
Wow.
Frank Zappa's kid, who is an incredible guitar player. Very well respected.
Dweezil
I
Zappa.
haven't thought about Dweezil Zappa in a long time.
If you want to hear his work, I believe he plays all the guitar parts on actor Don Johnson's first solo record.
He's done a lot of that
in-
kind of thing.
Back in 1985. What was Don Johnson's hit single? Do you guys even know who I'm talking about when I say Don Johnson?
Miami
No.
Vice.
Miami Vice Don Johnson. You'd know him if you saw him, Ashley, because he's still active. But he was so popular when Miami Vice hit it big that they said, make a record, even if you can't sing. It'll make everyone in the building $10 million. Was it Heartbeat? I can
Heartbeat.
feel your heartbeat.
Yep.
And Dweezil Zappa played all the guitar. Here's a listener who waited in line to meet David Lee Roth at the Mirage.
Awesome.
I believe I was at that show. Get back to me. Was that when he wore nothing but bib overalls at the show and did no less than 75 bicycle kicks while he sang Just a Gigolo? Get back to me, because I'm fairly sure I was at that show around 1995.
My senior year of high school, I think, I waited in line to meet Dream Theater, very talented band.
Dream Theater.
They were great. Okay, you didn't wait in line to meet my mom.
No, but-
a lot of texts in that. And they're saying some foul things they did when they met her. That is not what happened. 2 hours to meet Gary Sinise. That'd be cool.
Gary Sinise.
Somebody said they met.
I can picture him. Was he Captain Dan in the Forrest Gump trilogy?
Nailed it.
Horrible movie. Yeah, what do you say?
Somebody said they only had to wait half hour to meet Shaq. That surprises me.
Wow.
I would have
Well-
thought that would have been quite a bit more than that.
Hayden Christensen from the Star Wars movies.
He was just in town for the last Twin Cities Con, and yeah, that was very popular.
Steve-O from the Butt Gang.
Jackass.
What were they called again? Jackass.
I'd wait in line to meet Steve-O.
Wow, these are really interesting. I love this kind of stuff. Kane from the WWE. And on from there. Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Sinise. What was the situation? Did they give the background on what he was doing? And maybe he had his own whiskey, maybe?
No, he does a lot of charity events for wounded soldiers.
Yeah, he's very passionate about. That was my guess. It was going to be part of his foundation, the
Yeah.
Gary Sinise Foundation.
He was a great bad guy in the Mel Gibson movie where Mel Gibson's son is abducted. And
Ransom?
I can't,
Yeah.
Ransom.
That
He
was a great movie.
Oh, he was evil.
Yeah.
great bad guy, great actor. Seems like a funny guy too.
Oh, and he's got a heart of gold, it appears.
Guar. One of our listeners waited in line to meet Guar.
Cast of Super Troopers. That's Poop Pumpin' Jesus.
Oh, I remember meeting those
He was
guys
a cool-looking dude.
many years ago. I refer to them as the cast of Beer Fest. You can call them whatever you want. Bill Nye. Why does that name ring a bell?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would make my heart so full.
I think I was too old to get into him because when people, your age,
Yes.
talk about Bill Nye, it's very positive.
Well, he's a legend for a company. His program was very entertaining. But I think the biggest draw to Bill Nye was that when we got to watch Bill Nye in elementary school, that was like a nice treat. And they wheeled that TV in, and they just threw on a couple episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy because the teacher had nothing else planned. That was a beautiful feeling.
We always had a worksheet to go with it, so that was not a good feeling.
Oh, bummer. You don't want to learn things.
No.
I never saw the guy, but I've heard it said out loud before. The question, again, is to our listening audience, feel free to text us, 651-989-9393. Who have you waited in line to meet for an autograph or a picture? Wow, Walter Payton. Vanna White,
Oh, really?
Sweet.
who still works on television, does she not?
She does. Oh, Nick, you'll appreciate
What is
this.
she doing on TV?
On that show, whatever.
Fortune.
Oh, I thought she retired.
No, just say Jack.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I mean, So you're certain of that, Dana?
Yeah.
Because I'm fairly sure the television was on a few days ago, and it was on, what's the name of the show again?
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever spent much time watching it.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest is the host, and Vanna's still
She was
doing Vanna.
still there, and she's in her 70s. Got to be.
I waited in line and met former Minnesota Wild defenseman Brent Burns, but I was waiting at a Potbelly sandwich shop in Woodbury, and he just happened to be there. Oh. By the way,
Sweet.
he was wearing his own shirt.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Wait a minute. What do you mean he's wearing his own?
He was wearing his own. You know how like you can get a
jersey?
Not a jersey. Is that what they call it? A jersey?
Jersey.
It's just a T-shirt.
No, he was
yes,
not.
Yes, he was.
Are you sure that was him?
100%, dude. He's not tough to miss. 100% sure.
That
Maybe that's a way to get people to not think you are him.
I don't know.
Well, he had a coat on, but he showed me. You know, he's like, "Hey, this is embarrassing." So he even admitted it.
I'm hoping he was coming from some type of like team event or community event.
It could have been. It was it was the middle of the day. Very well could be.
Buddy of mine had a funny story about Brent Burns, a guy that used to work here. He was a promotions guy here years and years ago. He was at a bar after a Wild game, and Burns walks into this bar in St. Paul after a home game, and the crowd is all, ooh, right? And it's packed, and some bitches are 10 deep at the bar to get a drink. And Burns just bud in front of everybody and got his friggin' drink. And most folks are like, well, he is Brent Burns. Well, not this guy that used to work here. He's thinking, hey, dude, get in line with the rest of us, for
Heck
Christ's
yeah.
sake. What, you're thirstier than the rest of us? So he was pissed. And Burnsy gets his drink, and he kind of stands in the corner, and everyone's coming over saying, hey, good game. Hey, Brent Burns, taking pictures and everything. And this former coworker, he was very patient, and he waited in that line as well to go. And he walks up and goes, dude, you're Brent Burns, right? And Burnsy goes, yeah, I am. And he goes, you suck. Wait in line like everybody else, for Christ's sake.
I don't think I'd come off that hot in an NHL player.
Oh, what's he gonna do? Choke you to death at the bar in front of
Yeah,
everybody?
I guess it's not 1980 anymore.
But he said that Burns was just shocked that he would come off like that. I was waiting all night for a friggin' drink, then you walked in, I had to wait a little longer. And he walked away. I love hearing these stories, man. I
Yeah,
love
this is
hearing
awesome.
these names.
Nick, I waited in line at St. Cloud State my freshman year because
Here we go.
Jim Craig was a guest speaker, and then stuck around, hung out afterwards, took pictures, and answered questions. Very, very nice guy.
Jimmy Craig.
Do you remember Pat Williams, part of the Vikings boat scandal?
I remember the guy.
When I lived in Eden Prairie, he cut in front of us at a Dairy Queen with about 30 other dudes that he was with.
That would make me so mad.
He was a line cutter?
Well, yeah, him and his whole group.
Who does he think he is? Brent Burns?
Pat
Burns? Leaf Garrett. Wow, one of our listeners waited in line to meet Leaf Garrett.
Oh, Henry Winkler.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And he said one of the nicest people I've ever met. Chicago Comic-Con. I'd imagine he sure comes across that way.
I would wait in line for close to 24 hours to meet Henry Winkler.
I've seen other actors talk about, asked who's the nicest celebrity you've ever met. Henry Winkler's name comes up quite a bit. Keanu Reeves, another one.
Let me tell you something. The world, you'll feel it. The world is going to stop spinning for a second or two when Henry Winkler goes down. You'll friggin' feel it. You'll feel it.
For people old enough to have watched Happy Days, Nick, did you ever try and use your elbow to turn on a jukebox or a light or something like Fonzie did?
Absolutely.
So did I.
Absolutely.
Hey. Oh, man, he was the best.
One of our listeners waited in line to meet Eddie Munster.
Oh, cool.
Butch Patrick, who portrayed Eddie. I still watch the Munsters whenever I get a chance, and it's a friggin' riot.
It is.
Butch Patrick made an appearance at the World of Wheels. Those
Catherine
are the ones.
Bach, how about that? That'd be pretty great. Daisy
Catherine.
Duke.
Oh, sure.
And Tom Wopat from Dukes of Hazzard.
Tom Wopat, who voluntarily bought me a Miller Lite at a bar years ago.
Have you guys ever paid to meet someone?
Not that I can remember.
Sometimes they'll make you buy, a picture or a shirt. I haven't. Well, I guess Twins Fest, maybe. You count that? Because
That's more of a donation, but yeah.
Yeah.
Paid to meet someone. That brings up a whole new.
They get expensive, too.
Some of
my
those are
gosh, yeah.
outrageous.
I don't remember. Well, there you go. Josh, You better bring a trailer tomorrow for your 50th birthday show.
I was hoping you guys would forget.
Lots of gifts.
Lots of cool
I
stuff.
want 0 gifts.
Nothing practical. Everything you receive, you're going to have to find a spot for it. You know what I mean? Which is
the
always
best.
a pain in the ass. Oh, what do I do? I got to find a spot for this now. Nothing practical, but you better be ready. Lots of gifts tomorrow on Cubby's 50th birthday special edition of the Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's funny, the practical thing, because my wife had said, I think I'm pretty easy to buy for because I'd prefer just practical things. But she's like, just get yourself something for me. So I did. And I was telling Janelle about it. It's a work-related thing. And Janelle Klein, she basically berated me. You remember that, Ashley? When she was like, why do you get something practical? And I thought, well, that's the greatest gift. It's something I'm going to use anyways.
What was Janelle chewing you out for?
She's like, you should get something fun. You know, it's your 50th. You should get something cool. And it's like, well, this is cool to me.
You want practical things. Yeah, nothing practical tomorrow. Just stuff
That's how it should be.
You're going to have to find a spot for.
Things that are going to inconvenience you.
One of our listeners waited in line to meet. I've never known how to say the last name, but I know who the guy is. Carrie Elwes.
Carrie, I knew it. Now you've put stuff in my head. I thought it was Elways.
Hey, no one cares. The lead actor from
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. And then that was kind of the end of his story, wasn't it? Unfortunately. Or am I forgetting something?
I think that was it, yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, at least his one huge movie was, that damn good. One of our listeners
he was
waited in line.
Saw. That was a pretty decently popular movie.
Saw.
Yeah.
Love those movies.
Well, I don't remember.
Wasn't he the guy that sawed his own leg off?
Oh, for Christ's sake, yeah, he was. All right, those are 2 keepers. One of our listeners waited in line to meet Eddie Money.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, something's got a hold on me now. Right, Josh?
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
That guy can sing a song.
Burning like a love on fire. What song? 651-989-9393. What song am I singing you right now by Eddie Money? It surrounds me, moves me like a plane of madness, and I don't think I can make it through the night. What song?
It's beautiful, Nick.
I was watching videos of Jack Blades yesterday, and I thought, gosh, I wish I looked like him in the early 90s. Jack Blades. He was with
Damn Yankees?
Yes, it was Damn Yankees on David Letterman.
Night Ranger and Damn Yankees. Yes, you're correct. You're the first one to answer correctly. God dang it. Now the text machine's moving too fast. I want to give the guy credit. Baggage Handling Jesus. You're the first one with the correct answer. The song, I Think I'm in Love, Eddie Money, 1982. One of my favorite rock and roll songs of all time.
Oh, Carrie Elways, Bad Guy and Twister. That's right. How do we forget?
No, Twister.
I never saw Robin
Your
Hood Men in
favorite.
Tights. People are saying he was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And
That movie sucks.
I-
We were having so much fun, and then someone had to bring up Twister.
Have you watched the new one yet?
Of course not. Oh, God, especially after, I think, didn't you guys say it's just dog piss?
I didn't see it.
It's not dog urine. It's just not the best.
I think I'm in love, and my life's looking up. That's how that one wraps up when they get to the chorus. All right. What a crowd we got out there. One day away from Cubby's 50th birthday special episode of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hi, podcast friend. Sorry. Looks like we played some music on the show today that we need to remove. I don't get it either. My apologies for this brief interruption. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And now back to the show.
At 7:30, we'll get on the line with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Well, this is 2 Tickets to Paradise. That doesn't count. You want to hear a singing voice? This guy had a singing voice.
People are texting in and they say they thought your rendition sounded more like Will Ferrell than Eddie Money.
I like Shakin'.
That's a good one.
Shakin's unbelievable. I Think I'm in Love. 2 Tickets to Paradise. Give Me Some Water. I'm missing one in there, but
And then I had
don't do the one that with the big one. Don't do that one. I can't hear that one anymore. What was the one he sang with that girl? Come on, the big hit, 85, 86. We'll be right back on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
No Contest Wrestling. O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, X-Pac.
Getting suspended in school, that's the number one thing people, when they meet me, they tell me. There's
I got
no,
detention.
Yeah, everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan.
I couldn't believe that was my time. I was so grateful.
Talking about living dreams. No pun intended, TJ. Relax.
I rarely do these anymore, but I was really looking forward to this.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
That was Take Me Home Tonight was the one Eddie Money song that I couldn't come up with, and the other was Baby Hold On to Me. Take Me Home Tonight, I can't listen to it anymore. It's just been played too much, but
I still like it.
Baby Hold On to Me, every time. Love it every time. We were talking Eddie Money earlier, like any normal morning show would in the year 20 and 25.
Especially one that, a frequency that I don't think has ever played Eddie Money.
Especially when you said, we should probably get going here. Or let's talk about Eddie Money for about 4 or 5 more minutes. I loved it.
I can't help myself.
He's a treasure.
I met him at a celebrity golf tournament once. Very, very nice man.
F me running sideways.
How is he at golf?
He's very good.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
The conversation was, we were asking our listeners, our glorious listening audience, who have you waited in line to meet? Maybe get a picture or an autograph. And one of the answers was Eddie Money. And that's all I had to hear in order to lose my mind. Someone just texted in, what about the song Shakin'? We mentioned the song Shakin'. That's a terrific tune. Listen to this now. Your mom's chest hair Jesus texted in about who he waited in line for to meet. In the early 90s, he was just a little kid then. He waited in line to meet Christian Laettner.
Oh, nice.
And he never showed up.
Oh, dang it. That kind of
sucks.
I was just going to say, this story's probably going to end with Laettner being a dick to the kid.
God darn it.
Hearts were broken.
I bet.
That day, he said. That's hilarious. Friggin' guy never showed up.
One of my favorite autograph stories was when NSYNC was at the Mall of America, and they were just hotter than hot at the time. The mall was packed, the line all the way around, the rotundas, each level was packed. They got there and they signed autographs for about 2 minutes, and then somebody threw a water balloon down on the stage where they were sitting, and their management team grabbed them and got them out of there.
Oh.
Girls crying on the news, just devastated.
Oh, do you think there's any way they set it all up so they could just get the F out?
All right, like Larry, the handler. You go upstairs, throw a water balloon, we can get out of here in 3 minutes.
I wonder if there was something more than just water in that balloon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I am saying?
Yeah.
Yep. I'd get out of there, too.
I know someone who was hit by a balloon filled with more than just water.
That's not right.
They said it was unpleasant.
Was it was PP?
It was PP.
Yes, fun size Jesus. Give me some water. Where you been? We covered these songs 20 minutes ago.
Well, maybe she meant this. That's what she meant.
Fun size Jesus. The world does not begin when you get out of bed.
Oh, jeez. She's a mother.
There are other...
We love her.
She's a good friend of the show.
She dresses a little too provocatively for my taste, but she's a mother.
Sorry, I blew up. All right. Obviously, you got to have some level of intelligence to be a school teacher. But that doesn't mean you can't be completely stupid at the same time. Now, I don't know if this guy just wanted little kids to see his pecker or he's just this effing dumb. But the word is an elementary school teacher in the Phoenix, Arizona neighborhood is up against some interesting charges. One or two of the kids in his class said they saw him pissing into a pop can right there in the classroom. And in the process, the sixth grade kids say they got an unwanted look at their teacher's 52-year-old Johnson.
Oh. Why? Why? Don't teachers, look for any excuse to have to just take a break for a couple of minutes? I imagine that would be nice.
I don't know why, Ashley. Like I said, I don't know if he just wanted the kids to see his unit or he's just an absolute moron. I don't know why.
Maybe I'm naive, but I didn't get the impression he was trying to show himself off.
You don't?
I think he just... Sometimes the most obvious answer escapes some people. This is an extreme example, of course. But there's been times where I've made a decision and thought I went way out of my way to come up with whatever the solution is where there was an obvious one right in front of me. And for whatever reason, this guy didn't consider he could have just went to the bathroom.
I guess, Dana, your fiance is a teacher. Are they allowed, if they really have to use the restroom, or do they just have to hold it until there's an opening, or do they...
Right, they typically got to hold it, but obviously if it's an emergency, they can call in one of the teacher's aides to come in.
Oh, but somebody has to be in there? Oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
They can't leave the kids alone.
They can't leave the kids alone?
Well,
no more
probably,
can
but
you...
But she's a second grade teacher, right?
Yeah, second grade. You can't leave second graders alone.
Oh. All right. This teacher is known by the name of Kurt Hinton, and he's now staring down 4 counts of indecent exposure. On a normally quiet day at the elementary school, suddenly 3 of Mr. Hinton's students walked into the principal's office to report that they saw their teacher urinating in class. The kids told the principal and the local police that they heard what sounded like falling water, and when they looked over to see, what gives, they saw Mr. Hinton hanging it into a pop can. And yes, they told the principal, yes, we did see his unit. So, sounds like Mr. Hinton and his leaky rod were taken into custody on school property, which would have been so much fun to see in person when I was a kid.
I'm with you on that
A teacher
one.
being arrested, that would have been...
There was never any teacher drama at my school.
Oh, we had teacher drama. I loved it.
Like what?
One of the science teachers slapped a kid and then said some bad things, and she got fired on the spot.
Yeah, back in the day, that was okay, though.
She deserved it. Gosh, she was the worst.
Right across it, in the face?
Yeah, I mean, so the kid kind of deserved it, but did not deserve the words that she said afterwards to the child.
What did the kid do?
Just being really disrespectful, saying very foul things.
And the kid got slapped in the face, and the teacher was removed.
Yep.
So you're kind of on the side of the teacher.
I go back and forth.
When you were in the moment, you were probably on the side of the student.
Yes.
But now you're remembering what a pain in the ass that kid was.
Yeah, looking back, I'm like, wow. I'm surprised more of our teachers didn't just slap us.
Oh, hell yes.
Same here,
We were such
we all
D-bags.
deserved a punch in the mouth back then.
They're just trying to do their job. They don't get paid crap.
Except for Josh. Josh probably never did anything to piss off a teacher.
Yeah, if I did, never on purpose. I know I talk too much in class sometimes.
Can I tell my favorite teacher-student story again? One of my best pals. He was an incredible pain in the ass, and he still is. Mouth never stops. Always antagonizing. Always with the smart-ass comments. Sometimes we love it. Sometimes we don't. But he's our bro. And back in high school, there was one particular science teacher that my buddy would just ride constantly busting his balls, second-guessing everything he said, just because it was fun for him. And that teacher finally had enough, and he pulled my buddy into In the middle of class, he said, "Get up." And he pulled my buddy into a spare room and left the rest of the students sitting in the classroom. And the teacher says to my buddy, "I'm so friggin' sick of your mouth. Every day you got to say something stupid." And he said to my pal, "You know what I want to do? I want to kick your ass. Just once. I want to punch you, knock you on your friggin' ass." And my buddy, balls of steel, looks dead into the teacher's eyes and says, "You know what? I don't think you can get it done."
I would go crazy.
Because I'm sure he wanted to prove him wrong, but the teacher, he held it in.
He said smoke just came out of his ear.
I'll bet.
Because he expected my pal to say, "Well, I'm so sorry, Mr. Johannesburg. I didn't mean to." But no, my bro said, "I don't think you could cut it."
Some texts are coming in on teacher drama. I'm not going to read this person's Jesus name just in case. I don't want to get them in trouble. They said, "I work at a school. You wouldn't believe the teacher drama here. Worse than students at most times. It's worse than the student drama."
Teachers fighting with other teachers.
I just said drama.
Teacher drama.
Oh, that's kind of fun from the outside in.
This person says, "We had two teachers having an affair with each other. One of the spouses found out, came to school and beat the crap out of one of their teachers and got fired afterwards."
Awesome. Yeah. He's so pumped.
There was nothing. There was no drama whatsoever all the way through school.
Yeah, ours was pretty tame, too. I mean, occasionally a kid would get grabbed by the back of the sweatshirt or something because he wasn't listening, but that was about it.
There was, after I graduated, one of my favorite teachers, there was some pretty bad stuff that came out about him, and he got in some trouble for it. But when I was there, nothing.
All right, so here's this teacher again. Sixth grade teacher. Students witnessed him taking a leak into a pop can. So he goes over to the police station. He told the police that he did unzip his pants and make urine into a pop can, but he said he did not think any students could see, the old brajola. He said he was covering himself up in the process. He also said he was new to the school and he didn't know of a way for someone else to watch his class so he could go off to the boys' room and take a squirt. He also said he decided to spray into a pop can because that's what he did when he was in the military when he was unable to leave his post. So he had plenty of excuses there, didn't he?
These are sixth graders. I'd imagine he can say, "All right, open up a book. I got to go number one."
Mm-hmm.
Or shoot, just let them go on their phones for 3 seconds.
They got them.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably already on their phones.
None of them were particularly good excuses, but he had a few at the ready. "Well, I don't know a way for someone else to watch my class while I go." Come on, you're a grown person. It's that difficult for you to figure out a way for you to go use the bathroom? It should not be that difficult. Like you said, open up a book, go on your phone. In the old days, you would grab the most responsible student and say, "Stand up here and make sure nobody F's off for 5 minutes." This guy, makes himself out to be completely helpless. You'd think that every teacher that's worth a pump would know that rule number 1 of teaching is your students can never see you holding your genitals in your hand, for Christ's sake.
It's impressive he's able to pee in a pop can, though, because that's hard to do.
I've never tried. I've tried like in a 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottle, and that was nearly impossible.
It is very difficult.
Fills up quicker than you think, too.
The wide mouth, that was helpful.
Yeah,
and I think that's why they invented that. They still make the wide mouth Dew bottles?
I don't know. Those were cool back in the day.
You can drain one quick. God help us, now we got to deal with another one of these sick maniacs. In Houston, Texas, a janitor at some kind of medical building over there, he's been sentenced to 6 years in prison. 6 years in prison for peeing in women's water bottles when nobody was looking over there at the medical building. That's what he was doing. He's a janitor, and he was taking a piss in the women's water bottles. And by God, one of the poor gals who unknowingly drank the janitor's whiz, she turned up with herpes.
No.
I've really slacked off on this. I had some ideas before, like my discipline volcano, where we slowly lower guys like this into it, and then my punishment piranhas, just a giant tank where we throw these guys in there. We got to get back on that. You can't be peeing in somebody's water bottles and giving them sexually transmitted diseases.
I know that every time we read one of these terrible stories, it motivates you to get back on those two separate projects. The piranha tank, what was it called again?
My punishment piranhas.
Punishment piranhas and the damn, discipline volcano. And I understand why you're motivated to get back on those projects. But I would like you to focus a little more on this time machine that you agreed to make, the two of us, many years ago.
It's a lot of complicated math. I just can't do it.
You need Stewie Griffin's help.
Oh, he's good at that kind of stuff.
The guy looks like the type, I think. And you can see what he looks like on 93x.com.
Yeah.
But his eyes just don't look right.
He has the eyes of a crazy person?
Yes.
Always the eyes.
I leave my water bottles here, and sometimes I wonder if anybody has urinated in them.
Yeah, I do. I do, too.
Do you? I thought you meant you do urinate in them.
No, I would never do that. I wonder the same thing when I leave my water bottle unattended, even for a few minutes. I wonder, is somebody spitting this? Anyway, this sick scumbag who was squeezing his rod into everybody's water bottle is called Lucio Diaz. He's a 53-year-old man, for the love of Christ. It's a hell of a story, and I'll get to it here in a minute. One of the charges dumped on Mr. Diaz, one of the charges was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And I'm sure there's all types of jokes we can trade back and forth about whether or not our penises are deadly weapons. But the victims of his pee-pee attacks accused Diaz of using his bodily fluids as a, quote, deadly weapon when he urinated in their water bottles. And I guess I'll go along with that, especially if he's putting half urine and half herpes juice in there. You know what I mean? Because herpes can be deadly, can they not?
I don't know. I don't know if it can kill you.
I thought herpes, if a lady gets herpes, isn't there a story there?
I haven't heard that.
Not off the top
Are you
of my
thinking
head.
of like, is it chlamydia?
Yeah, like when
or-
the monkeys get it and stuff.
Chlamydia? There's
see what it
one of
says.
those STDs can be deadly to a woman. I just can't recall which one it is. I thought it, obviously AIDS.
Syphilis.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Oh, and imagine how many of these women, they unknowingly passed it along to other people, too.
The herpes. Right.
Gamer Jesus said he's spiritually peeing into my water bottle right now, and I have spirit herpes.
No.
Eh.
I could taste the spirit herpes.
13 women were in on this lawsuit. They went after Diaz. They went after his employers and his supervisors, and I'm sure they're having the time of their lives with this, his employers and supervisors. They're saying, yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
You know, a lot of businesses, they have pre-written statements for some common things that happen. There's no way they've got something like this sitting around in a Word document ready to fire off to employees.
You try to do a guy a favor and give him a job, and this is what they get in return. When this nightmare first cut loose, one of the ladies working in the medical building where Diaz was the janitor, she noticed the water coming from the employee water dispenser had a funny taste and smell to it. So it sounds like he was squeeging into the big old plastic tank thing, if you know what I'm saying. The community water tank.
Yep.
With the little switch on it, and you put the little plastic up. So that same gal who noticed the smell and the taste being funny in their community water tank, she started bringing her own 16-ounce bottle to work. But, of course, she wasn't keeping an eye on that every minute of the day, and that's when stupid, disgusting Diaz would pounce on it and fill it up for her, if you know what I mean.
No.
The same gal then noticed that even the water she was bringing from home in her own water bottle, quote, smelled nasty. She couldn't figure out why. More and more ladies in the building started making the same complaint. A test was done, and everybody's damn water bottle turned up positive for potty. New gal in the corner puking her guts out. So then they set up the hidden cameras to finally solve this effing terrible mystery. And there on film was our guy Diaz unzipping his pants, pulling out his little helpless acorn, dumping pee with a side of herpes into the bottles, and then slapping the lids back on. He admitted to all of it.
He should have gotten way more time than he did.
How long would you be vomiting? Like an hour, and just an hour barfing when you find out what happened?
It wouldn't stop, and every time I'd think about it, I would throw up.
Well, yeah, and think about it. It would like ruin water for you because anytime you took a sip of water, you'd probably think about that.
Well,
anytime I drink
anyways.
anything.
All right, what I was thinking of was...
I need all the chemicals in my water.
Thank you to a listener. I was thinking of HPV causing cervical cancer. Does that make sense when I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So is that not herpes?
I Googled it, and it says it's different.
Okay, fair enough. Now, back to Mr. Diaz, and we can close this out. When the cops asked him why did you urinate in these ladies' bottles? And he said, I don't think he understood the question, because he answered, honestly. He said, because I knew they would drink out of them the next day.
Yeah, it's a crazy person speaking right there.
And he says, and I liked it that. I liked it.
For some reason, Vertically Challenged Jesus finds this story gross.
Fun and inspirational.
This here next story brings me back to when my brother and I used to play cops and robbers with the neighborhood kids when we were just little pot lickers. A guy in Colorado Springs, Colorado got himself arrested this past Sunday night for robbing a convenience store with the old finger gun gimmick. Does everyone know what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You just point your index finger, that's the barrel of the gun, your thumb is the hammer, and once the hammer drops, you usually create your own sound effect for the gun.
Or you say, finger guns.
I've never done that.
No, we didn't do that. So anyway, a 35-year-old dude out there acting like he's a 4-year-old by the name of Antonio Taylor. He walked smooth into a convenience store and pointed a finger gun at the cashier and started taking things. I assume he must have had his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, I hope so. Can you imagine?
If not, the cashier must be very easily intimidated.
I would laugh my ass off if that was the case. I hope that's not loaded, sir.
I assume he had his hand in his pocket, so it looked like it might be a real gun. After this numbskull stole this and that, he sped off in an SUV. Police caught up to him, and when the cops approached his car, Antonio said, I call that I'm invisible. I'm kidding. It does say here, though, that he had his teenage daughter with him in the passenger seat, but I'm sure she's going to turn out just fine when she grows up.
Hopefully she wasn't aware.
Maybe she was not aware.
Let's hope that he's not that big of a douchebag.
They charged him with multiple crimes, including robbery, but they can't charge him. They cannot charge him with armed robbery.
I guess there's that.
The old finger gun gimmick.
Yep, we used to do that a lot back in the day.
You loop a rubber band around your thumb and your index finger, and then you can shoot the rubber band.
I loved doing that.
That was a fun one.
That changed my life when I first saw somebody do that.
Yeah. And somebody that could do it really well, too, or it didn't just kind of limp off, like it actually just fired across the room. That was cool.
It backfired quite a bit on me.
Yeah, me too.
Very stingy finger guns at times.
And then they laugh at you.
I never tried it with my non-dominant hand. Anybody do that? Maybe double-barreled?
Definitely.
Oh, double barrel.
No,
I'm
I
gonna find some
never-
rubber bands.
Now, this is cute. A company here called, or not a company, a United Airlines Boeing 787 jetliner. That's an airplane. It was flying last week from Los Angeles to a place called Shanghai. They had to turn around. 2 hours they had been traveling towards wherever this Shanghai is. 2 hours. But they had to spin around when one of the pilots realized he had taken off without bringing his damned passport. Oh, my God.
It sucks.
Oh, you gosh, I bet he's just so embarrassed.
Can you imagine that? 2 hours into the plane ride, the pilot reaches into his wallet and he says, son of a bitch, boys, we got to turn back around.
There should be a way for them to get around that, I guess, in a way. I mean, isn't
Like an
there...
email or something?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, don't they have credentials that would be more useful?
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree.
257 passengers, 13 crew aboard, and they had to spin that pig back to Los Angeles so Dinkus could go grab his proper identifications.
Oh, I'd be getting some free miles out of that.
Well, it says here
That's
all of the passengers were compensated, whatever that means. And many of them had a, happens type of attitude towards the whole deal. Wow. Others were outraged and swore up and down that they were going to sue the airlines. I mean, that whole deal sucks. It made folks about a day late in getting to their destination, and that sucks eggs.
Yeah, because other planes had to be delayed. Some people just missed connecting flights that couldn't wait around.
But I do enjoy this comment from one member of the wildly misinformed social media crowd. They posted, "How could someone mess up this badly at work? What? Have you ever been to work before?"
Well, I'm sure it's just so automatic for the guy that he didn't consider it. Or maybe he thought he had it in there and, took it out for some reason.
Screw-ups happen at every workplace on planet Earth. Some of the stories our listeners have shared with us in the past on the topic of workplace F-ups is some of the most entertaining radio I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah, there's people that have said, I caused $1.2 million in damages by knocking over something or destroying some sort of vehicle, and were able to keep their jobs, which is great. That there is a second chance for someone.
Now, don't get me wrong. The pilot forgetting his passport is pretty damn boneheaded. But, people F up.
When he realized he didn't have his passport, I bet he was thinking, why couldn't this have been the flight where somebody's running in the aisle and peeing so that I have an excuse to turn the flight around and I don't have to take the blame?
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those things where he's thinking for a little bit, do I say anything?
Definitely.
Maybe I just don't say anything.
Can somebody mail it to me? How does that work?
But, don't get me started on the airline industry and all the inner workings going on there. I mean, they have no idea what they're doing. Just wait till I get on social media. I'll tell them off real good.
What goes on behind the scenes there.
You must have worked for an airline at one point then?
No, never.
So you have no idea what goes on behind the door at any airline?
No, I do not.
Huh. So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You've never worked there.
No.
You're completely unaware of the circumstances surrounding what happened.
I am. I'm completely unaware.
Yet you still feel qualified to channel misplaced rage at innocent people doing their best to just do their jobs, keep a smile on their face during uncertain times at work, and then make threats from the courageous anonymity of an assumed name on social media? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah. Yeah, I still feel qualified to attack them on social media. It's almost ridiculous, isn't it? It almost is.
Those were some smart words, Josh.
Some poor guy out there in England, Britain, summers around there. The poor guy checked out. But he was granted his dying wish. He loved candy bars and whatnot. Man, me too.
I love that about you. Because, some people might say you have a hard exterior, yet you love sweets. I think that's awesome.
I do.
Would not predict that.
I do find it really endearing.
As I have aged, 20 years ago, if you ran a candy bar under my nose, I would go, no thanks, But now, I just want to inhale candy bars, cupcakes, cookies. Doesn't matter. I'm a friggin' junkie, and my wife's got me on friggin' diabetes watch already.
Me and Nick were playing pool at the Legion this last weekend, and they have this little table full of baked goods.
Yeah.
And I was standing there with one of your buddies, Nick, and he was talking about how they had these great cookies there at one point. But he said he couldn't tell you about them because he knew that you just go crazy for the cookies.
And buy all of them.
Yep.
So no elderly people would get a crack at them. Yes. I have cleaned out that table once or twice, and the next person in line says, hey, where'd everything go? I'm a madman with... Anyway, this guy loved candy bars, and then he died. So his family buried him in a coffin made to look like a Snicker bar.
I love a Snickers bar. Well, at least I did when I was a kid. I don't remember the last time I had one.
Oh, that's the best. That's my favorite candy bar in the world. And you can see this Snickers-inspired coffin on 93x.com.
It's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah, I love it when people do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
What a great tribute.
Paul Broom is the feller's name. He's a goner, and this is what he always wanted, to be buried in a giant Snicker bar. His family thought he was joking around, but then they read it in his will.
That's one of those on Halloween I would never trade a Snickers. No way. I'm holding on to that one.
Heck no.
Those little wrapped black and orange peanut butter things, though, or whatever those were gone.
Those
throw
those in the trash.
Another side note on this Paul Broom, and this is a story for another time, also in tribute to the man, his family also overhanded his prosthetic leg into the ocean. Maybe we can get a separate, I don't know why they threw his leg into the the sniffer cocker, how do I say this?
Snickers bar?
Snicker bar coffin has the phrase, "I'm nuts" painted on the side of it. They say Paul, Josh, had a, quote, zany sense of humor. The sumbitch was zany.
That's so cute.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's a new thing every day. I heard yesterday that he's no light bulbs. He's doing candle lit in his house now for something. Yeah, that's what his thing was yesterday. So he was on a beeswax candles is what I heard is great for you. So now we're all talking about beeswax candles.
What kind of hippie nonsense is this? There's a member of the Washington Capitals hockey club that wants nothing to do with light bulbs. He lights his entire house with candles. He's a defenseman by the name of Jacob. I apologize. It gets harder and harder every year, NHL names. Jacob Schikrin. Beeswax candles.
That sounds really nice.
Is how he lights his home.
I would enjoy that, but my fiance yells at me if I light too many candles. He thinks I'm going to start a fire.
Do you have a lot of candles?
Yes, I do. And then he doesn't let me burn them for too long because we have to preserve them. I'm like, that's the point of buying candles.
Well, they are
using
expensive.
Them. Makes me really mad. But I am against using the big light in any room. So I think I would like this quite a bit.
I'm a bit of a lamp guy myself, Ashley.
It just hurts. Why'd you turn on the big light?
Beeswax candles is what the guy uses, this Jacob Schikrin. That was one of his teammates talking about it on somebody's podcast. Apparently, beeswax candles, burning them, according to this story, is apparently good for you in one way or another. I wonder if our pal Marcus Foligno knows that dude, Jacob Schikrin, and his candle habit. We'll have to ask him at 8 this morning. We'll be talking to Marcus Foligno. 3 of my best bros damn near died in a house fire because someone left a friggin' candle burning. So that's probably why your fiancé is always on your ass about it.
Probably.
We almost lost, in order, half man, half immersing, Josh.
Oh, that would be a shame.
Big New and Joe Dirt. Almost lost all 3 of them in a house fire.
Jeez.
I don't think you've ever met Big New or Joe Dirt, but they damn near died because they got drunk and someone left the candle burning in the house, and they woke up in the middle of the night, straight out of a movie. Middle of the night, woke up, just jet black smoke. They can't breathe. They can't even see where they're going. Half man, half immersing, fell out of bed when he realized the house was on fire, and he had to tell the 2-3 women in the bed to run for their lives also. But it was really scary. He remembered watching the after-school specials or whatever, so he got down on his hands and knees to find some clean air and tried to crawl out of the room. Instead, he crawled into a closet.
Oh my gosh.
Had to turn around and start all over again. Yeah.
I have a firefighter friend. What's up, Joe? And he says that, I don't know if you guys ever seen these, they're like lamps that you put your candle under and the bulb just warms up so that it eventually melts the candle. Those are the way to go.
All right.
Because it still smells good in your house and you're not risking a fire.
Our former coworker, Allie, told us she once set, I believe, a bed on fire. She was having some, what I like to call coitus.
Oh.
And what I like to call a candle fell over and apparently started the bed on fire.
Oh, my gosh. That is so terrifying.
If you started smelling that, wouldn't that first think, well, I'm going a little too fast.
Yeah.
Things are burning up. I got to slow down here.
The friction.
By the way, thank you, brother and sisterhood. Chikrin is how you pronounce that player's
Oh,
last
that
name.
sucks. Really?
Yeah, sometimes you look at these and go, that's how you pronounce it?
Chikrin?
Chikrin.
I would not want that. Things have been tough for the Pigs lately. We can talk about their game last night against Las Vegas when Marcus joins us again at 8 a.m. 7:30, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be jumping into the mix. Josh's News is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
If you're listening to sports,
how the Chiefs react to this loss will be fascinating.
Mixed with pop culture, sprinkled with celebrity interviews.
True or false, Kevin Bacon, for your role in Footloose. You attended classes at a high school.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman. What was it like working with Gene Hackman?
He came up in one scene and whispered in my ear, "I'm going to hurt you." I believed him.
And you're enjoying the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
Speaking of podcasts,
follow and listen on your favorite platform.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nice.
93X. Nice. He started just showing up to my house. My kids wouldn't be home. It'd be in the middle of the day. And he would just show up and bring me groceries. He did that a handful of times. Sometimes I would get home and he'd be right on my porch, so I couldn't even avoid him.
For 8 long and creepy years, a Virginia woman said she lived with a gnawing fear, feeling watched, followed, and unsafe in her own home.
Sounds like somebody's in love.
Somebody is in love. But what makes her story especially chilling is who she said was behind it. Her pastor. A man once trusted as a spiritual guide at a prominent megachurch is now a convicted stalker and burglar. This month, the former man of God was found guilty after damning surveillance footage revealed him sneaking into the woman's home twice. The mom of 2 had installed security cameras around her property after sensing something was off. For years, she suspected she was being followed, but she had no proof. That changed when she reviewed the footage. Cameras captured her former pastor quietly entering her kitchen one night, then returning the next day, this time through her daughter's basement bedroom door. It all started after my divorce was finalized, she said. He would stop by to help. He always wanted to help me, she said. But that help quickly crossed the line. Though she believes the stalking had been going on for years, she felt helpless without hard evidence until now. That footage, captured November 10th and 11th, finally confirmed her suspicions. According to court documents, the pastor was arrested and charged with stalking and 2 counts of breaking and entering.
She's not even going to give the guy a chance, maybe go out on a couple dates?
No, she's not interested, I guess.
That's so terrifying.
You take.
He tried for 8 years. She's just not interested.
That is so long.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think she's playing hard to get, man. I think she's just not interested.
A 33-year-old woman from Arizona is facing felony stalking charges after allegedly sending a series of deeply disturbing letters to a couple. Letters that included chilling threats and shockingly specific details about their lives, like their home and even their unborn baby.
Unborn baby?
You got one of those, Ashley.
Yeah, I do.
One letter delivered an especially terrifying message. That baby will be ours soon.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they didn't know. Along with a note that the sound of a passing train, this person said, would mask the writer's arrival.
It's clearly somebody who lives within very close proximity to the residence or perhaps knows the family in a different setting.
The couple, terrified and completely blindsided, called police after receiving the first letter March 10th. They had no idea who would target them or why. Then, just days later, after returning home from the hospital following the birth of their baby, they found a second letter waiting for them March 18th. This one was even more threatening, repeating the word redrum, murder spelled backwards, over 20 times.
Wow, I feel really dumb because until right now, I didn't realize that's what they were going for there.
With redrum?
Yep.
That's great.
Never seen it, though, so, you know.
Hey, it's fun being a part of a learning experience. Investigators got a break in the case when they traced the stamps used on both letters to a roll purchased at a nearby post office. I didn't know they could do that. Surveillance footage revealed the buyer, someone the female victim instantly recognized, Shelby Treischer, a former best friend and one-time lover.
The woman told police she cut off all contact with Treiser just weeks earlier after an unsettling conversation, details of which were not shared. She was arrested after her fingerprint was also found on one of the letters.
A former lover,
Yeah.
you say?
Close friend, and things got romantic between the two, and she couldn't handle it. A 19-year-old from Pennsylvania is in legal trouble after handing a bomb threat to a shopper at a Boston Urban Outfitters, along with a piece of Starburst candy. Louis Lembeck was arrested shortly after the incident last Tuesday, about 12:40 p.m. He admitted to giving the note and candy as a prank, which he believed would be funny.
Hilarious.
The shopper said Lembeck approached and said, "It's National Starburst Day. I want you to have this," before handing over the candy and the note.
It's awful nice.
The note read, "I have a bomb. Don't say an effing word." When questioned, he initially denied being in the store, but later confessed, saying he thought the shopper would understand it was a joke.
Police tracked him via security video. They say Lembeck said it was a prank and he was trying to be funny.
It's difficult to fathom how anyone would consider it as a prank to hand a note to a perfect stranger in the middle of a major city claiming they had a bomb. Such a reckless action causes fear and comes with consequences, said the DA.
They do say it's all in the delivery.
Yeah, yep. His wasn't very good.
No.
He told authorities it was dumb, and authorities agreed. He was charged with making a bomb threat with a Starburst.
Well,
Starburst part is pretty cool.
A Florida woman faces a felony armed robbery charge for holding up a Dairy Queen at gunpoint and making off with $1.50. Usually...
Man, Dairy Queen's in some real trouble.
Yeah. No, there's more details.
Oh.
Usually that would be less than half the cost of one of the chain's iconic blizzards. More on that later. 44-year-old Allison Fetting was already in prison when she was booked Friday for the fast food fiasco from February last year. According to police, she walked into a Dairy Queen in Coconut Creek, flashed a handgun, and tried to get the cashier to cough up the cash. When that didn't work, she settled for the tip jar, netting her exactly $1.50. Fetting wasn't hard to find. She's currently serving time in state prison for a laundry list of robbery and drug convictions. She's set to be arraigned for that DQ stick-up later today. Now, I mentioned normally that'd be half the price of a blizzard, but currently, the lady in the story could have easily afforded a blizzard with her ill-gotten buck-fifty booty. To celebrate their 85th anniversary, DQ Rewards members can get a Dairy Queen blizzard for 85 cents through April 6th.
Oh, that's going to be insane. They just had free cone day.
Yeah, I drove by that the other day. I thought like the president was in town or something.
Yeah, I felt terrible because my fiance went to go grab me some ice cream that night, and we forgot that it was free cone day, and that was like a 45-minute trip, and it's maybe like 5 minutes away from our house. Oh, I felt awful.
Is that the only place to get ice cream in Coon Rapids?
Hey, dude, Dairy Queen is unbeatable.
That is a popular promotion for sure. Gunfire that put a Michigan hospital on lockdown and sparked fears of an active shooter last week happened because a man was upset with his coworker for not inviting him to his father's funeral. Police responded to an active shooter call, 7 a.m. Thursday at a Detroit area hospital, but quickly determined it wasn't an active shooter situation, but rather an extra-sensitive 21-year-old who shot his coworker over a personal grudge.
Well, I've never been upset about missing out on a funeral.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it. The two men had been friends. Things soured after the victim didn't invite the suspect to his father's family-only funeral. Family members of the victim described the suspect as possessive with a short fuse. The suspect went to the public viewing of the victim's father, and according to the victim's mother, had some choice words at the casket. "Your effing son wouldn't invite me to meet you," he told her.
Now you're cursing out a dead guy? Is that what he's doing?
No, he's cursing out the son to the mother who's standing right there at the casket.
I thought he was cursing out the... Okay.
After the funeral, police say he video called the guy and showed him urinating on his father's funeral brochures, like a good friend would do.
God dang.
And then he made a threat.
The defendant had made a comment to the victim, "If I do see you outside in public, don't be surprised if something happens."
The suspect, who had worked at the hospital for 2 years, is now in jail without bond.
They say this guy was possessive.
Yeah, they were buddies.
You are my friend forever.
A 33-year-old mother in Texas, where, fun fact, it's illegal to own more than 6 sex toys, was chased into the street by her own teenage daughters who armed themselves with knives because mom took away their internet access.
Yeah, I can see it.
According to I think maybe at their ages, they just didn't know what else to do. They've never been off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Harris County Sheriff, the 3 girls, ages 14, 15, and 16, didn't just get angry. They coordinated a plan to attack their mother, arming themselves with knives because she turned off the Wi-Fi. Authorities say the teens chased Mom through the house and onto the street, attempting to stab her. One of the girls struck her mom with a brick. Even Grandma wasn't safe. Their grandmother, who tried to intervene, was knocked to the ground.
I'm not afraid of anybody's grandmother.
Miraculously, neither woman suffered serious injuries, but a neighbor wasn't surprised by the incident. They're known for this in the neighborhood, she said, adding that there's always cops around the house.
I think that's so crazy. I mean, it just tells how much unstable that family is, and it's very sad for them.
All 3 girls were charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
That's mental.
A 76-year-old woman hit a bicyclist with her Mercedes, dragged him down the road, and didn't bother to stop because she had to get to her country club for a golf lesson.
Oh, boy.
Ellen Richmond didn't slow down after the crash. She kept driving. Cyclist and his bike stuck under her car.
Oh.
Dragging a carcass.
That's right.
And she's
not a carcass. He survived. By the time she pulled into the club, the victim was left behind with serious injuries. He was upset, as you can imagine.
He was?
Yeah, he was pretty pissed. His tibia and fibula were fractured. His leg covered in lacerations and abrasions, and his pubes completely ground off.
Oh, no.
I'm assuming the last part. Police eventually tracked her down at the country club. Car parked out front, damaged, and staff confirmed she just arrived and was out on the course getting a lesson. A valet told officers that she did mention she thought she might have hit something on the way and asked him to check the Mercedes while she was out golfing. When confronted, she claimed she didn't think she hit a person, just something. The 76-year-old golfer was taken to jail.
Poor bastard.
I know. Yeah.
Must have been horrifying.
Oh, I can't imagine how much that hurt.
I would think, this is it.
Oh,
yeah, of
how
course.
could you not?
Yeah.
How could you not?
A 31-year-old Wisconsin man called 911 for help with a car wash and ended up getting arrested. The 715er told dispatchers he was having trouble with a self-service wash bay. But when officers arrived, it didn't take long to realize the real issue wasn't the car wash. It was the drunk using it. Police said he showed several clear signs of being drunk while trying and failing to explain the situation. In the end, his car didn't get cleaned, and his record got dirtier. He was arrested for operating while intoxicated.
I've just never been drunk and thought, hey, you know what? Might as well go get the car washed.
I do love the car wash.
There was a time in my life where when I got drunk, that's when I wanted to get things done.
Oh, I've been in that same position.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Josh remembers some of my grocery shopping stories.
Dude, okay, grocery shopping buzzed up is a pretty good time.
Yeah.
I forget.
As long as you're not driving, of course.
True
but
that.
It is so much fun for some reason.
Now, am I mistaken, or was one of the times you ran into a friend of ours when you were drunk and you kind of wanted to hide it?
I was drunk at the grocery, and I ran into an old friend of ours, and so I made a point of avoiding her because although we knew her a little bit, I don't think she knew that I was a derelict. You know what I mean?
She's kind of prim and proper.
I wanted to hide my derelict side from her. It was Rena Sargentopoulos. We had gotten to know Rena a little bit here at the radio station, hung out once or twice, this or that. But when I was at the grocery and I saw her and I considered my state, I said, I'm going to avoid her because I'll end up saying something dumb. I'll say something, that would offend her. And so I just kind of tiptoed around, kept an eye on her so we wouldn't go down the same aisle. That whole routine.
Premiering today on Apple TV Plus, inspired by the popular original comedy Mythic Quest, Side Quest goes deeper into the Mythic Quest universe in 4 standalone episodes.
Sweet.
The 4th season finale of regular Mythic Quest is now streaming on Apple TV Plus.
You got your regular Mythic Quest that you see every day, and then on the weekends, maybe you got your side quest.
Got your side quest right there, yep. Also premiering on Apple TV Plus, Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, Catherine Hahn, Ike Barinholtz, and Bryan Cranston star in The Studio, a behind-the-scenes dramedy about a legacy Hollywood studio fighting to stay relevant in the age of streaming. On Vice tonight, the series premiere of The Grudge, featuring famous rivalries in sports. Tonight's episode is about Kobe and Shaq. Now on Disney Plus, the streaming premiere of Mufasa, The Lion King, and tonight on ABC, The Conners returns for a 7th season. The drunk woman and 40-year-old virgin, Katherine Heigl's sister, and knocked up in the spinoff This Is 40, Leslie Mann, 53 today. The great Martin Short, 75. Happy 33rd to a Sisterhood OG, Rosalie. Happy birthday to Jewel from Missy. Happy birthday to Mad Dog Jesus from My Deck is Bigger Than Your Deck, Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Big time onions. Goodness.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
They haven't told me, and I'm happy they didn't, because I try to earn it every single day, and I never want that to be given to me, and it's such a privilege and opportunity to give me that chance, and I'm just going to make the most of it every single day.
Oh, for God's sake. There's never enough time to get ready for the next thing around here. Who's on the telephone? Who's there?
Well, we got Brad Ryder.
Oh, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Why are you so frazzled?
There's lots to do around here off air, Josh.
Gets busy, yeah.
Josh knows. Ashley doesn't know. She just sits there.
Yeah.
She's sitting for two.
She's sitting for two.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what was next. I got frazzled. But I'm glad it's Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, old friends of ours. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Brad, how you doing? We haven't talked in a little while. You had to work the other day, right?
Yeah, I had something work-related, so I couldn't join you the other day, but I'm good.
We missed you quite a bit. Randy missed you. Randy was talking
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
You're not on spring break, or you are, but you still have to go in?
No, our spring break isn't the same as Egan High School's. Our spring break was a few weeks ago.
Oh. Where'd you go?
I did not go anywhere.
Coward.
Because I had my B gig that week still. Too.
You were working here? Is that what you're saying?
I was coaching.
Oh, coaching.
Coaching.
Coaching the softball team.
And now they don't have practice this week because it's their spring break, but I have to go to my real job because that's still happening.
Poor Brad. You can't catch a break.
I'm confused.
No, I don't know what he does. He does so many things all at once.
So confused.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. There you go. In the opening there, we had some audio that was unproven. Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy talking about how no one's told him he's the number one quarterback yet. I'll tell you what a guy doesn't have any doubts about where he stands. That's Mr. Unlimited. That bag of douchery, Russell Wilson, signed a one-year deal with the New York Giants that says here he is the projected starting quarterback. Mr. Unlimited knows where he stands.
My favorite comment I saw about Russell Wilson signing with the Giants, they retweeted the news and said, the 2025 New York Giants have now been eliminated from playoff contention.
I've seen so many people saying this will end badly.
Yes.
Would you rather be know that you're the starting quarterback for the New York Giants or not sure if you're the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings?
Probably not. Well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson knows
Unlimited.
what he'll be doing next season, and that's winning ball games for the New York Giants. I've never been able to stomach this guy, and I hate that some Vikings fans, they just can't seem to let the guy go. Stephon Diggs signed a...
Oh, jeez. How in the world does that guy keep making money like that? That's just crazy.
I don't know. He's such a pain in the ass. He signed a $69 million contract to play football for the New England Patriots.
And coming off an ACL injury, too.
My fiance told me this news last night, and I thought, okay, who cares?
Who's their quarterback now?
It's the young kid, Drake May.
Okay.
Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's astounding to me that this guy continues to just make this kind of money, and certainly in the last couple of years has just not produced. I mean,
just
it's
a pain
amazing.
in the ass.
Yeah, that too.
I know you're probably sad too that Russell Wilson ended up with the Giants because your guy Jameis just signed with them a couple of days ago.
Oh, Christ, that's right.
So now you got Russell already on the depth chart ahead of Jameis. He just got there.
I want what's that television show you guys watch? Under the behind the curtain, Hard Knocks. I want Hard Knocks to do a few weeks on the quarterback battle between Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. You think that they can pull some strings?
I doubt it. No NFL team wants to do it anymore.
Nobody does.
I will follow that story. I love Jameis Winston.
Right.
I do not enjoy anything from Russell Wilson, so that might be fun to watch.
And, of course, all this means that we're just sitting here waiting for Aaron Rodgers to finally
to sign with the Vikings.
To sign with the Steelers and get it over with. So,
you know, my theory is at this point, I don't think he's going to sign for the Steelers. He's going to wait for that big injury for a contending quarterback. And then,
I don't think so.
The knight in shining armor that comes riding in to save the day.
I don't think so. I think he's going to want to be with the club before the season even starts. Yeah. He can't wait that long and not be in the limelight. Can't wait that long.
But don't you think he kind of likes this? Will he? Won't?
Sure he does. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He can't wait that long.
Anytime the conversation is about Karen's a happy guy. Hey, get ready, gentlemen. Here in about 25 minutes, our pal Marcus Foligno from the Man Bear Pigs will be joining us.
They could sure use him.
Things have been tough for the Pigs lately. Yeah. Things have been tough. Goals have been hard to come by. Last night, the Las Vegas club rolled into town and whooped everybody's ass. They got the win 4-1, 5-1 if you count empty net goals. A feller by the name of Jack Eichel pumped out a hat trick for Vegas. And the Pigs have only come up with one goal in the last 2 hockey games. Yeah, Marcus is still, we'll find out when we talk to the guy, still unable to take the ice. And that blows, especially this time of year. You know, a veteran like Marcus would like to be out there straightening fools out. Tight game until the last 5 minutes or so, and that's when Vegas punched in a couple of quick ones. So next up, the game everyone's been waiting on, a chance to see that Ovechkin dude in person again tomorrow night. The boys play at home against the Washington Capitals. Now, by the way, Ovechkin went ahead and put another puck between the pipes. This was last night in Winnipeg. So now that was his 889th career goal. He's now 6 away from breaking the record.
Calgary is making things interesting here.
Calgary always makes things interesting. I have no idea what he's talking about.
They're 6 points back.
They're 6 points back, but they have 2 games in hand, meaning the Wild played 72 games and Calgary's only played 70. So if you assume that Calgary would win those 2 games, that would mean that they are only
2 points.
2 points in a playoff spot right now.
Well, not only that, they're actually closer to St. Louis, who's sitting there at 83, I think it is, or whatever. So, yeah.
Back to Ovechkin real quick. I heard a cool audio clip from one of his teammates yesterday saying that during this last couple months, every goal he scores, he saves his jersey, and he has anybody who assisted on that goal autograph the jersey for him. So say, goal number 864, cool. And then he'll have his teammate or 2 teammates, whoever assists on the goal, autograph it for him.
That's pretty sweet.
And then he can frame it and hang it in one of the 75 rooms he has in his $10 billion mansion or something cool like that. Yeah, well, that's awful nice. What were we saying? Oh, Calgary. Okay, so the Calgary Flames are creeping up.
Yeah, they won their last 4, I think I saw.
They could make things interesting. All right, I'll keep an eye on those bastards. And by the way, Randy Shaver, be ready. Tomorrow is Josh's 50th birthday.
Yes.
We're going to have the Cubbies' 50th birthday edition of the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'd prefer it if you'd ignore it.
Pants highly discouraged.
What is highly discouraged?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pants highly discouraged.
Pants?
Yeah.
What
like
about
wearing
shorts?
pants?
Yeah, no, nothing. Just come on in.
I think tomorrow's the day, Randy, you probably come in studio so you can present Josh his present in person. He loves receiving presents. He loves attention.
It's making me miserable.
What do you say about that, about coming in? Brad and Randy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that.
I could.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Maybe.
We were joking around with Josh earlier saying he will be receiving gifts, even though he does not want them. And none of it will be practical. All of it will be a pain in the ass, the type of gift where you have to walk into your house and find out where you're going to put it. and that sucks. But I did think of one practical gift that we could give to you, Josh, if you don't mind, a gift that's for you, but also for everyone else on the program.
That'd be great.
Minus Randy and Brad, who never show up in person. How about a propane heater, one of those sunflower heaters you put in the fishing shack?
Oh, dude, that'd be nice.
This place is outrageously
I am
cold.
so tired of freezing my ass off every morning in this building. What if we brought in a little Fish and Shack propane heater for the 3, 4, 5 of us?
Not a bad call. I don't think they can afford the heat anymore in this building.
I've thought about bringing something like that in, but I imagine it would somehow set the building on fire just by plugging it in.
Oh, bring it in. Bring in 2 of them.
My nose runs all day like a kindergartner at a bus stop.
Yeah, my fingers and toes sometimes.
I've got one of those in my office here.
Do you really?
Yeah, it comes in handy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got to look around and make sure we're still indoors at times.
Right.
Don't worry, Josh.
Somebody left the window open.
Don't worry, Josh. 50 is the new 60.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We were talking to Glenn Perkins yesterday about the Twins getting their lineup set for the opener.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention one thing. The Pimp has made the roster.
You're talking about
Randy Dobnak.
Randy Dobnak.
Yeah, in the bullpen, man.
The Pimp. We did mention that Brock Stewart and Michael Tonkin are starting the year on the injured list.
Right.
We just didn't mention where we could have gone from there. That opened up a temporary spot in the bullpen.
Do you think Glenn calls him that?
I don't think he calls him the Pimp. I don't think that Randy Dobnak knows that we call him the Pimp.
Yeah.
But so at least initially, Dobnak will get a long relief role in the Twins bullpen. Tomorrow's the big opener at 3 o'clock.
St. Louis tomorrow.
And we'll get to that. We'll get to whatever details we need to cover.
Sonny Gray tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Sonny Gray.
The Pimp has a new look. At least the video that I saw. Long hairdo and a big fat-ass Duck Dynasty beard.
I was just going to ask if that was recent, because he's looking awesome. I love that look.
Me too.
I think that was him.
That's the picture. Oh, that was him. They put the picture in the article because, we obviously saw the same one.
But the jersey numbers didn't match.
That's what I was wondering. Was that recent? Was there...
I don't know.
Because I love that look. He looks really cool.
Long hairdo, big smelly beard.
I'm going to look at the Twins website. Maybe they've got recent photos.
We should try to get him on. He seems like an interesting guy.
Oh, that'd be great.
Call the Pimp.
I think he needs to know that we call him the Pimp. I think he'd get a kick out of that.
Might be a little scared if somebody like that picked you up in an Uber. Wasn't he the Uber guy?
Oh, I've had scarier Uber drivers than Randy Dobnak, Brad.
Yeah.
I've had much scarier cab drivers than Randy Dobnak. My God. There was a guy me and a gal got in the back of the cab, downtown Minneapolis, 1 o'clock in the morning, looking for a ride home, and our cab driver was the drunkest person in the car.
Oh, my gosh.
That's wonderful. That's exactly what you want. His current picture on the Twins website, he's got the big beard.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of confusing because I saw 2 separate videos, and the players were both noted in the story as Randy Dobnak, but they were wearing different jersey numbers. One was 68, the other was 74. It doesn't matter. He's the Pimp, and he's on the roster. Now, this could be a historic season in Major League Baseball. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, you guys are big fans.
Well, you want to know who's back?
Who is back?
Here, let me give you
I hear him.
Gosh, I heard it.
It's that time of year.
Are you serious?
He's making an appearance, apparently, for Josh's birthday.
The leaf blower guy.
Oh, I missed him.
Hang on, everyone. I want to hear it. This is a joke, right?
No, I'm being serious. I wish I were joking.
Was he there? You were there on Monday, right?
What?
You were at work on Monday?
I was.
Was he there Monday?
No, he was not.
Because it does seem like he shows up a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Well, he's here. I'm trying to figure out what he's actually doing down there.
He kicked it down. He picked it up
He's clearing a space on the sidewalk.
That is awesome.
I love this guy.
For all the many students who are going to an 8 a.m. class.
If I'm not mistaken, you approached this guy once and asked him if he'd come on the radio because he's made such a big name for himself on this program. You asked him and he said no, thank you?
That was Dana.
Dana asked him?
Yeah, I reached out.
Dana called, I think, didn't you? Didn't you call somebody in our security office or something?
Yeah, and trying to explain this to somebody over the phone that's not familiar with the program is very hard to do.
Well, Brad, they thought you were a crazy person.
They did.
First.
How many floors up are you, Brad?
2.
Okay, we'll be fine without you. Walk down there right now and ask him to his face. Will you do that? Just walk down, ask him if he'd come on the radio with us, and come back with an answer, will you?
Okay.
Are you on a cell phone?
Hang on a second. No, I'm on a landline.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, how long would it take you? 5 minutes to go down there real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what's he going to do once he gets down there? Bring his cell with him?
No. You bring him back up to your office.
Kid's gonna be like,
He'd actually have to take a break. I'm not sure if he's union, if he can do that.
Yeah, I bring the cell phone. Yeah,
whatever.
If a stranger asked me to come back to their office,
yeah, I'm saying no.
Right.
100%.
That ain't going to work.
Let's pounce on this while we can. Go run down and ask him. Would you do that for us?
Okay, hang on.
All right, you're the best. Brad Ryder's going to walk down and ask the leaf blower guy if he'd come on the radio. We tried once via emails and phone calls over to the university. They didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
No.
Oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to turn out bad.
I'm so excited.
I think they assumed we were going to do some type of prank or something, like they weren't sure that. I was like, I swear this is just, it's a funny thing. We hear the leaf blower. We love to talk to the guy.
So they maybe never asked the guy because they thought you were playing games.
Yeah.
it didn't sound like they did, right?
No.
That somebody just shot it down before it even made it.
March 26th, the guy's out there blowing leaves. This guy is...
What?
Well, Brad went on, how those February spring break trips everybody goes on. They had February spring break. I've never heard of such a thing.
February... Oh, yeah, Brad
just
already...
said it was like 3 weeks ago he had his spring break.
Everything's sideways over there at that university where Brad teaches. Okay. Did you guys see the video? Speaking of the beginning of the baseball season, is there a national game on tonight or something?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Everyone...
I think it all starts tomorrow.
How are we hearing this again? If Brad is...
Brad left his landline on.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. So leaf blower guy.
So that must mean Brad isn't down there yet.
Brad has to explain
I'm back. So yeah, the two, as I got down to the door, the two guys who were out front got in. It's almost like they knew I was coming. They got in their truck and drove off.
What?
And no, they left. And then there's a couple other guys. They're probably like 500 yards away from the building, and they're doing stuff. You might be able to hear that. You might be able to hear them in the distance.
Yeah, I could hear. It's disappointing, but we appreciate the effort. You're a good sport, Brad.
Yeah.
We got to talk to these guys. Every friggin' other day for months.
We must have had some budget cuts here because I haven't heard much from them in the last, 6 months or so. Remember the year before they were here even in the middle of January?
Oh, yeah.
How many years has this been?
I don't know.
A couple of years.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video of the astronaut playing baseball with himself in space?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Is this up on our website?
No, it's not.
Japanese astronaut. He's doing something up in space. It doesn't matter. And with zero gravity or some form of gravity, he's able to throw the baseball and then zip his body to the other side of the damn spaceship, pick up a bat, make contact with the ball, run back to where he started from, and make the catch. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Zero gravity porn is also something everyone should see.
I've never seen it.
I never saw zero gravity porn.
Nope.
You've actually seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a mess. I can't imagine.
Not really.
It reminds me of that Family Guy epised.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a snow globe.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It isn't really well, anyway, we'll have a discussion some other time about zero gravity porn. This season, this upcoming baseball season, what I have for you are some big league players who could set records in the upcoming 20 and 25 baseball season. Oh, starting with Ellie De La Cruz.
Yep.
Of the Cincinnati Reds. He could become, this year, just the second player since the year 2000 to steal 60-plus stolen bases in consecutive seasons. He stole 67 last year. If he does it again, he'd be the first player since Jose Reyes, who did he play for?
The
Tampa
Mets?
Bay Rays? Maybe the Mets, yeah. Jose Reyes stole 60-plus bases in 2005, 6, and 7. De La Cruz could just be the second player to do such a thing. You know what it makes me think of? Ricky Henderson, of course, was a great base stealer.
Yes. The best.
The best.
Lou Brock. Lou Brock was amazing.
Did Joe Morgan steal a lot of bases?
He did. He's still early in his career. He stole bases, yes.
I always think of those three guys when stolen bases.
He was kind of the first combo power fast guy, you know. I mean,
well, Ricky wasn't far behind him, though. Ricky was a power guy, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Morgan was first, so Joe Morgan would hit like 20 to 25 home runs a year and steal 30 bases a year.
Did you ever see Joe Morgan, God rest his soul, Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, and Joe Morgan? Did you ever see Joe Morgan act?
No.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. I saw him on a television show many years ago. What was the show, Randy? I know you watched it. It was on HBO. It was about a sports agent.
Oh, yeah. It was...
Arliss?
Arliss, yes.
And there's a very, very funny scene.
All those guys played themselves.
Yes.
All the athletes did.
Yes, they did, including Joe Morgan. There's a very funny scene where Arliss is at a ball game, before the game starts. He's on the field, just Arliss, the sports agent, and Joe Morgan. And Arliss is bugging Joe Morgan about placing a bet on a Detroit Tigers game. I wish I could tell you, the whole concept or whatever, the whole plot. But this Arliss guy is bothering Joe Morgan. You got to make a bet on the Tigers game. It's a sure bet. It's a sure thing, right? And Joe Morgan turns to Arliss. I laughed my balls off, and I still think about this now. Joe Morgan turns to Arliss and says, "Look, Arliss, the only sure bet in Detroit is that somebody's going to get shot."
Oh, man.
All right. Oh, we got to hurry up here because Tough Guy McGee is going to be on the telephone.
We're getting a lot of texts reminding us to ask him about pooping before an athletic event.
Yes.
I have that written down.
I wrote that down.
Shohei could become the first foreign-born player to win a Cy Young and an MVP in the same season.
That's not going to happen.
Pete Alonso could become the Mets' all-time home run leader. He's only 26 home runs shy of tying Darryl Strawberry for the most home runs in franchise history.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big, strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's quite the record. Strawberry's had that forever.
Many years. Clayton Kershaw could become the third pitcher in the history of the game to record 3,000 strikeouts with a single franchise. He only needs 32 strikeouts to join Bob Gibson and Walter Johnson.
Wow.
As the only pitchers to record 3,000 strikeouts with a single franchise. And Mike Trout, forgot about him.
He's healthy right now, too.
If he hits 22 home runs this season, he would become the first Angel with 400 career home runs.
Yeah.
He's already their franchise leader.
Yeah.
But he could hit the 400.
Yeah, he's healthy. He had a really good spring, too.
Name any other Angel in the top 10 in franchise home runs. Go. Let's see if you can. I got 10. I got 10, 11 of them.
Don Baylor.
Don Baylor's number 11.
Did Reggie hit enough?
No.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, there's the obvious
Doug
one.
DeCinces.
No. He played forever, for Christ's sake. He was the size of a house.
Size of a house.
His last name sounds like you're talking about taking a dump. Albert Pujols, what the hell's the matter with you?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Tim Salmon, Garrett Anderson, Brian Downing, Troy Gloss, Vladimir Guerrero. Shohei is
Shohei, sure.
Number 8 on their list. Bobby Grich.
Oh, Bobby Grich, that's way back.
And a former twin.
Former twin.
Who was involved in the 1991 World Series.
Oh.
He was a designated hitter for the
Chili Davis.
Chili Davis.
All right. That didn't go as well as I thought it would.
No.
Oh, my God.
How about Torrey Hunter? Is he close on that list?
He was in there, but he was not in the top 10, 11.
Okay.
Not in the top 10, 11. All right. Before Marcus gets on the telephone, what else is going on? All right, Brad Ryder, we got the new Golden Gopher men's basketball coach in town, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah. No, I'm in favor. I think it's a good hire considering the circumstances. I mean, I know we talk about how we always have to have somebody local and whatever, but I do think he has the experience to take the job and do a good job. I hope that they give him the resources, to succeed, because I think that was a question a little bit with Ben, was how much are they committed to the NIL part of this?
Right.
How much are they going to invest in it? I sure hope they give him, the resources maybe that they didn't give Ben, but he's proven himself that he can win.
Do you know who said almost the exact thing yesterday, but with a lot more sex appeal? Randy Shaver.
Oh, really?
Okay. He said almost the exact same thing yesterday. He said, I know he's local, and everyone gets a little uppity about that, but this guy is legitimate.
Yeah.
I will add one more thing to that. As I was thinking about it yesterday, he's also the first basketball coach that they've hired with this kind of experience who's in the prime of his career. Remember when they hired Tubby? He was at the end.
Yeah.
Tubby was at the end. You had Dan Munson, who was a young guy. You had, of course, Ben. You've had guys. Richard Pitino was young. He was like the fifth choice. He was like the fifth choice.
Richard Pitino's hitting his peak right now. He just got a job with Xavier.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it. This guy is the first guy in a long time for Gopher basketball who's, I mean, he's going to be around if he wants to be, he's going to be around for a long time.
I think he's in his early 50s, so he's got 10, 15 years, solid years left if he does a good job, or he stay in the position. I just think, from a personal standpoint, I think it's cool because, like I said, back when I worked over there, he was a student manager in the Clem Haskins days, and we would play a lot of noontime hoops together. And I don't know him anymore. We lost touch, but it's fun to see that. I hope he does a good job.
Oh yeah. We're all looking forward to it. He lost a player, Frank Johnson. Frank Mitchell, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
A big center. He showed some promise, but no one's losing any sleep over that.
No.
Frank Mitchell has decided to go play basketball at St. Bonaventure, wherever the hell that is.
I thought it was really classy the way he opened his press conference yesterday by talking about Ben Johnson, too.
Yep.
That's the kind of guy I think he is. And again, I'm not going to pretend to know him really well, but based on what I remember of him and what I've seen of him, that's the kind of guy he is, and that's the kind of guy you want leading your program. So.
Yep.
By the way, on this date, 46 years ago, Magic Johnson and Michigan State defeated Lara Bird and Indiana State in one of the greatest NCAA finals of all time.
Spartans of Michigan State, and Brian Gumbel has the game star and his head coach, Judd Heathcote.
Thank you, Dick. I am with two very, very happy people here, Magic and Judd. Magic, not only were you a leader on offense, I thought you did a great job on Larry Bird in the zone denying him the ball.
Yes, Coach gave us a good game plan to go against Larry Bird, and all we had to do was go out and do it. And if we did it, he said we would win. That's what we done.
It's a very young Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a comment from Judd Heathcote because he went out and got laid right away. Judd Heathcote's not waiting around for an interview. There's women waiting on him. If you're an older college basketball fan, you know that's a very sarcastic comment. You kidding me? 1979? Judd Heathcote had a date with Sally Field that evening, I bet. Or Linda Ronstadt in 1979. Have I burned out the Judd Heathcote jokes? Let's welcome Marcus Foligno to the show. Hello, Marcus.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Good morning to you. We're missing seeing you out there on the ice, bruh.
Yeah, I know. I'll be back. I'll be back next game.
And which is against Washington tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, fun. Good.
So it was just kind of a pain in the ass for a little while you had to straighten out.
Yeah, just something that just dealing with a little bit of a hand thing, so I couldn't really grip the stick, and it was just a little bit. It obviously sucks to be missing games, especially this time of year, but had to get it going, had to get it right before coming back, and now I feel back to normal. So excited to get back with the guys and obviously get in the playoffs here.
Cool, man. We're excited to hear that. We're glad you're coming back. $100 of my own money if you take a violent run at Ovechkin.
End of season.
Yeah. We talked about this, how his goal scoring record and my empty net record could have been the same day, but it looks like we had a little bit of a slowdown, both of us.
Yeah,
it can happen. It can happen. We were hoping for 2 records to be set on the same night. We discussed that about a month ago.
Yeah,
$100 of my money if you just make a terrible run.
You never know. You never know. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Has he ever pissed you off? Has Ovechkin ever pissed you off out on the ice?
No, not really. I mean, lately, the past couple of seasons, he's been a little bit more. I think his early days, where he would be pretty physical and hit guys, and that would stir some things up. But I don't know. He's a goal scorer, man. So I think we're more worried about him not getting a shot off.
Yeah, getting in the way of his one-timers is probably the key to victory. Is he greater than Gretzky, in your opinion?
The goal scorer? I mean,
just overall, do you think of him, even if he, let's say somehow he doesn't reach the record? Well, I guess that's impossible at this point. Is he greater than Gretzky in your mind?
Respectfully, no, I don't think so. I think that, just Gretzky just did a lot of things, and the playmaking ability and stuff like that, the passing, the vision, I don't want to say it's more than Ovechkin, but it was just special what Gretzky could do out there, right? So I think just it's different, like a power forward versus someone that's just a all-around playmaking, the smart hockey IQ. I don't think too many people are going to be. I don't know. It's a crazy conversation. I guess it's like all the conversations of all the GOATs and all other sports, right? So
it's like LeBron and Jordan.
It's going to cause a lot of discussion, but I don't know. I just don't think. I think with Gretzky, just the way he can be, his hockey IQ is off the charts.
Marcus, we're up to $1,100 from the brother and sister.
$1,100?
$1,100 so far if you take him out tomorrow.
Somebody also promised to be your personal chef for a year.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow, this has gotten out of control.
Wonder how many people would actually pay up if he did it.
I would.
Somebody is offering
$1,100. This could go towards the Ryan Hartman fund.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Next time Hartman screws up, you can give him this pile of money.
Is he interested in a 1984 Ford Escort? Because that has been up for grabs here as well.
All right, this is going to get us on websites now if we go any further with this.
Yeah, really. No kidding.
And I appreciate your honesty on the Gretzky-Ovechkin conversation. People, like you said, people argue about LeBron and
Jordan.
That bastard Michael Jordan. Who else is there? Jack, is it Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods? I don't know golf. As you know. Marcus gave me the nickname a couple weeks ago of the guy that doesn't know golf or something. I can't remember what my new nickname was. You're tough guy McGee, and I'm no golf McGee or something like that.
Oh yeah, anti-golf McGee.
Anti-golf McGee. I appreciate your honesty. Now maybe you just gave Ovechkin some bulletin board material, and he makes a run at you.
That's probably that could happen for sure.
Well, we wanted to ask you about a couple of things. I'm gonna start with the less offensive question. I'm not going straight in.
Work your way up here.
Yeah, I'm working my way up.
You got to work your way up.
You got a segment to fill. You don't want to make you mad yet.
There's a question. There's a subject we discussed yesterday.
Scientific,
it is. We tried to get Zach Parisi on the telephone. He didn't answer.
He did. He was dropping his kid off.
He was dropping his kids off?
By the time he was available, it was too late.
Kind of fitting that he was dropping his kids off. And you'll find out what we mean. But now we have an actual pro athlete. We can ask you a very important question in a minute here, Marcus Foligno. First, I wanted to mention or ask you about next weekend. You and a bunch of your teammates will be making an appearance at Fan HQ in Ridgedale. They're hosting an in-person event they're calling the Wild Super Signing Showdown or something like that. Matt Boldy, he's the headliner, and a lot of opening acts like Jonas Brodin, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Ryan Hartman, Jake Middleton, Matt Zuccarello, and introducing Marcus Foligno. That's how they have it written up. Boldy's the main event. Anyway, a lot of you guys are going to be. We know the folks at Fan HQ. This is going to be a massive event, Marcus.
I can't believe Boldy's the headliner.
They even spelled your name wrong.
That's insane.
Of course, I'm joking about all that. I'm joking about it.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. Yes. I'm joking.
They're bringing me in for the early crowd, aren't they?
I'm joking. You all have even billing here.
Get the 2 hours of that's good.
Maybe for fun, maybe for a prank. Once you all sit down, and once they say go, the event is on. You guys walk away and leave Boldy sitting there by himself.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing that April 5th, and I think it's. I don't think I've ever done it where it's like that many guys doing a signing.
We were surprised
Yeah.
as well. I haven't seen it like that before.
Mm-hmm. That'll attract a big crowd.
Yeah, it will, for sure.
Yeah, it should be a good showing with some fans and stuff. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we know Sean and Haley over there at Fan HQ in Ridgedale. They're pals of ours.
They're great.
Mm-hmm. The last
they do a great job.
The last time I was at an autograph party over there, Mick Foley was the special guest. Marcus, do you know who Mick Foley?
Way.
Yeah. The hardcore legend.
The wrestler.
Yeah, the hardcore legend, Mankind, and all that. He had a huge crowd. So there you go.
I got to meet him when I was younger. He was in St. John's, Newfoundland. My dad was a coach for the St. John's team, was the farm team at the time for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And my dad was just freshly retired, and he was working, and we got to go to St. John's for a month. And they had WWF wrestling there, and we got to meet him before, like, in the morning and stuff. It was like he was like the nicest guy.
Yeah, he's very, very friendly.
Don't forget that.
So, yeah, folks, next weekend, Fan HQ in Ridgedale, you can see Marcus, Middleton, Zuccarello, Hartman, Erickson, Eck, Brodeen, and the main event, Matt, Boldy.
I had to throw that in there.
All right, we'll cut to the chase here. Marcus Foligno. Yesterday, we read an article about elite athletes, and you're one of them.
Oh, geez.
Yes, you are. The scientific research put forth by the University of somewhere, they did a bunch of studies, and they came to this conclusion. Elite athletes perform even better after a bowel movement.
Are you asking if that's true or false?
I'm asking you what you know about that. Sure, true or false?
I know that if you feel lighter, you feel better.
Okay.
I agree with that statement.
Okay. Cognitively, actually, was the focus of the study, was it not, Josh?
Yes.
So it wasn't so much physical as it was mental.
And some of it was you feel lighter, so you feel better.
There you go. Yeah.
It might just be in your head.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah.
You've cleaned yourself out and you're ready to go.
That's right.
So before big games, is there a line in the men's room or anything like?
Sometimes I think we use the line. Geez, I'm blanking on the movie here. The blank full.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
that happens a lot on game days. And
you fill the
bowl. I don't want to give out too much information, but I mean, guys are eating heavy pregame meals, pasta, a lot of tomato sauce. It just you gotta get clockwork on this, so everyone shows up to the rink, and then it's just like you gotta take a number to get into the bathroom.
Protein heavy meals too. That's disgusting usually.
I mean, again,
Is that too much science information for you guys?
No,
that's good.
Natural.
We want more.
We are fans of scientists and science, and we follow the stuff. Here's a text right now that says, yeah, who doesn't feel better after a good deuce? But what I found interesting about the subject or the study was they talked cognitive, quicker decision-making and things like that were included in this conversation. So sure, you feel a little bit lighter and this and that, but it's supposed to make you even smarter. Geez,
you think so? Our guys would be a lot smarter than that.
There's a line at the men's room.
All right. Well, now we know the answer.
Getting smarter over here. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
I got to go get smarter real quick.
Give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to go get smart. Hey, congratulate your goaltender there, Phil Gustafson, the NHL's first star of the week. Went 3-0 last week, with just 2 goals allowed in your wins over the Kings, the unnecessary Kraken, and the Sabres. Say hello and congrats to Phil.
I will. Yeah, he's been playing awesome. I mean, all season. I mean, it's just been kind of low. As of late, we haven't been grabbing so many wins, but he's been so steady. And I mean, both goals. I mean, you saw last night. It was a tough outcome. Like, the score didn't really reflect much of the game. I don't think. Looked at it was 5-1, but I mean, it was 2-1 with 5 minutes or so left with the power play. So I mean, Fowler played great last night too, and we got great goaltending, and that's what we're going to need down the stretch here, and definitely in the playoffs. So we're pumped out. We got those guys competing well.
Phil's he gets it done out there. He's a big reason why you guys are in the spot that you're in. Heading towards the play. Are you familiar with a member of the Washington Capitals, Marcus, by the name of Jacob Chychrun?
I am. Yeah.
Are you guys tight or anything like that?
Nice ticket.
Did he sign a big contract recently or something?
He did. Yeah, just yesterday.
You're friendly with him, or you just know who the guy is?
I just know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know much about him, yeah.
Okay, here's something that we all learned about him yesterday, I guess, via a podcast. One of his teammates said that Jacob Chychrun he wants nothing. Whoa, what? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, that got weird.
He wants nothing to do with light bulbs. He lights his entire house with beeswax candles.
It's a new thing every day. I heard yesterday that he's no light bulbs. He's doing candle lit in his house now for something. Yeah, that's what his thing was yesterday. So he was on a beeswax candles is what I heard is great for you. So now we're all talking about beeswax candles.
All right. He does not like electricity, light bulbs.
I don't know. Sometimes you just got to shake your head.
It seems a little weird.
Taking a little too far.
I mean, I just think about insurance. Like, he's going to have a fire in his house for sure. They're going to ask what happened in here. I think, my light bulb's out, and they use candles, and I don't know how you're going to explain that one.
Yeah, that's kind of where we went. When we had the conversation earlier this morning, we thought, well, that's just a massive fire risk.
Yeah, his insurance company heard that interview, and they just increased his premiums.
They're like, we're taking this guy. We're bumping up the insurance claim here. I don't know. He's having a great season, so I guess whatever works, whatever research he's doing, whatever science research he's doing, more bowel movements and more beeswax candles.
Yeah. Get into the bathroom, light a candle.
I don't know. That's crazy. That's something that I've heard some stories about him where he's very tries to do a lot with the earth and barefoot workouts and stuff like that.
Just grounding.
What's the word?
Go outside and meditate in the sun for 2 minutes every morning, but it's just something that, I guess whatever's working, you got to go with it.
He's
feeling good,
eccentric or eclectic. I can't think of the proper word. Yeah. I don't think, Marcus, you probably couldn't get away with that in your house with all the kids running around. You can't be burning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, especially my little one should be grabbing things off of the tables and. Well, if we had beeswax candles, we'd be beeswax right now. We'd just be melting, and this house would be on fire with all the girls like that. So, yeah, we're gonna stick to light bulbs right now. What we've been doing for many years.
Right. Right. Thomas Edison. Why waste that man's efforts?
He went through a lot of trouble.
Exactly. Just a little bit disrespectful.
Now we've been talking all this science-y stuff. So what do you think of this? Some say that blue light from LED bulbs can have a negative impact on your circadian rhythm. Are you tuned into that kind of thing? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, 100%.
Is it the blue light like on our phones too?
Yep.
Oh, they say that's the worst. The blue light.
That is.
I've been learning a lot about that lately.
I got those blue light glasses.
Okay.
Oh, do you really? The blue blockers?
The blue light blockers, yeah. That's what so I use those, especially like when you're on the plane lots and you're watching your iPad or you're on your phone, and it's kind of helping. I find I wear contacts, so I actually my eyes just kind of get dried up and stuff. So I find when I wear the blue light blockers, it helps a lot.
Okay. Now I recognize circadian rhythm. They tell us that don't be staring at your phones or your televisions before you go to bed because it messes with your sleep. That's
right.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, that's why people do red light therapy.
Beeswax candles, I'm not too sure yet.
Don't need to go that far.
No.
Before we let you go, Marcus, one of my favorite all-time NHL characters, Lindy Ruff. Last night, Lindy, who's in his second run with the Buffalo Sabres, he won a game over the Ottawa Senators, and that made Lindy the second coach ever to win 600 games with one franchise.
Wow.
I've always enjoyed watching him on the bench because he can get a little squirrely. I'm sure you're very familiar, Marcus.
Yeah.
And
he's a great coach. Great person, and it's pretty amazing to do that with one franchise, especially like to have done it, gotten fired, come back, and continue to win. That's pretty cool there. So he's kind of like a big face of the franchise if you're going to look at it over the years. Not many coaches are lined up with teams, but he's one of them.
Yeah,
and to get the Buffalo Sabres is pretty cool.
Is he the type of guy that intimidates a lot of the younger players?
I mean,
he seems intimidating to me. The looks on his face.
I had when I was younger is I always remember this because we were in practice and I think we were feeling pretty good, and I was feeling pretty good. I was just a young kid at the time and wasn't thinking much, and we're in a drill, we're in practice, and I jump on the boards in between whistles on the bench. Like when you want to sit on the bench, you can you jump up there.
Yeah.
And the assistant coach comes over to me, James Patrick at the time, and he goes, "Hey, get off the bench." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "Why? What's wrong?" He's like, "Lindy doesn't like when guys sit on the bench during practice."
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of those things. I could see him. He's across the ice and he's staring at me. I'm like,
"Oh no!"
So he had little things that as a young, but I think it's more just for the young guys. He didn't like when you would, put your hockey stick on your knees and bend over and look like you're huffing and puffing during in between drills and stuff like that. So just things like that I picked up along the way, and he had that kind of old school mentality where he just he didn't want to see guys taking breaks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just when you read that now he only trails Al Arbor in total wins as a coach with one franchise. Al Arbor won 740 games with the New York Islanders. Now Lindy's at 600 with the Buffalo Sabres. So there you go. All right, Marcus, we're very happy to learn that you're back in the lineup tomorrow night against the Washington Capitals. And I'm just saying, how should I say this? If he gives you a reason.
But only if he gives you a reason.
If he gives you a reason, don't be shy about reminding Alexander Ovechkin that there are no free rides.
I don't know if I should have a bowel movement before the game. Thanks, guys.
Cut a good one before the game. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, Marcus. So long, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Well, at least we got that figured out, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah, thank the Lord.
Nice work, Nick.
Nice work. Full support of...
That's what a real journalist does.
That's right. Exactly.
I asked him the tough questions.
That's right.
I asked him, who's greater, Gretzky or Ovechkin? And I asked him, do you cut a deuce before a hockey game? Those are the...
Does it make you feel better, lighter?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Hey, you two have a great game. Tomorrow's great day, I should say. Tomorrow's going to be absolute madness around here. The basketball games start up again. The friggin' Golden Gopher hockey team begins what's hopefully a long run in the NCAA tournament. Baseball begins.
Yes.
It's Cubby's birthday. It's going to be totally overwhelming tomorrow, but we're going to make it happen anyway. See you later, gentlemen.
See ya.
We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Michael Rosenbaum and his Smallville co-stars take you behind the scenes of one of the greatest shows of all time.
We're going to watch every episode.
Join us. It's Big Talk.
You remember when I had to shave my head?
Oh, I think I was angry with this one.
On Smallville.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
The scene you did, and this is the one that got me fired, okay?
What?
Here we go.
I love the excursions with me and Welling. It's everything that Superman stands for.
It's Talkville.
Talkville, we always talk about it. It's a great thing.
The Smallville Rewatch Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, is that all the thanks I get for the native hot sex?
All right. Wednesday, huh? Yeah. It's Wednesday, and we welcome you back to the program, the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We've been discussing Cubby's big 50th birthday broadcast coming up tomorrow morning. There will be gift giving. Maybe topless female dancers?
I'm too old for that.
No, you're not.
Bottomless male dancers?
None of the gifts we have ready for you, as we've mentioned once or twice, none of the gifts that we have ready for you to open tomorrow morning will be practical at all. It's all going to end up in a pile. I can see it already. Eventually, it'll be brought back to Goodwill where it came from. Hell, I just read about a very practical gift for a man, though. Now, tell us, Josh, if you'd be interested. And this is, I think it should be noted, that this is the millionth time, again, where an announcement is made declaring a product to be the next big thing, even though anyone with any common sense knows it'll be a flash in the pan at best. But you know how they're always throwing this at us. Well, you got to get this. This is the next hot thing. And you never see it in person. Many of these niche items, a lot of it is clothing. Many of them, all of them, I never see in person. So I don't understand when they declare, well, everyone's doing this now. I never see it. Then again, you know, I am at a Legion most nights. But I was just reading about what might be a very practical gift for a man. You tell us, Josh, how badly do you need a man purse?
Well, I had considered it. And I saw a guy over the weekend with one. And after seeing a gentleman with one of those purses, I decided I'm more of a clutch person.
In more ways than one.
Don't need a whole purse. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I did a double take. It was, it was obviously a purse this guy had.
I see those everywhere. I guess maybe you wouldn't consider it a purse. I'm thinking of the crossbody bags.
Yes.
That's kind of what it was that we saw, Ashley, but it did look a little more like a purse than that.
Bigger than that?
Those crossbody ones that Ashley are talking about, they're basically fanny packs that you kind of wear like over one shoulder rather than around your waist.
Yeah, this was bigger. This was,
okay.
And it wasn't like something you can put a laptop in. I've seen those ones too. Like, do you have a purse, Ashley?
No, I'm not a purse girl.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen you with one. It was, I don't know, like a couple feet by a foot or something.
Oh, yeah, so that's big.
This is what you saw a man carrying around over the weekend. Okay, I never see, like I said, I never end up seeing these things anywhere. But I have, with the exception of, you mentioned that fanny pack that kind of straps across your chest. At least that's what it looks like.
I've heard bad things.
I've seen one or two of those, and I just figured it was someone who does not know how to wear a fanny pack.
No, that's the new trend.
You've heard bad? What bad thing?
I have heard from a reliable source, if you see somebody wearing that, they're packing.
Oh.
You follow me there.
I do. I follow what that means.
I've heard that's what's going on.
I guess that would be convenient.
Packing a handgun or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. I'll tell you this. I wore the balls off of my fanny pack when I was around a senior in high school.
I had one in middle school that, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Absolutely loved it. I kept my Walkman in there.
You could fit a whole Walkman.
Yeah.
I would just throw the keys my wallet and a can of chewing tobacco in there, and it was perfect. Although it was annoying when you'd walk, the can of chewing tobacco the keys would drum on the can of chewing tobacco. So everywhere I went, it was blop, 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 blop. I had to rearrange things. But, the man purse movement is seeing another resurgence.
I mentioned before, my wife likes to carry around purse tuna. She's recently upgraded to purse popcorn. She carries that around. And
nice.
Then she has essentially a suitcase that she walks around with everything apparently she'd ever need to survive in any situation.
Yeah, I've never been a purse girl just because I think I would lose it. And I would put so many things in it like your wife does, and then I would be devastated when it's gone.
That used to be kind of her thing. She's not into it as much, but she loved having a purse for every occasion.
All right, people are telling me I should call it a merce. A man purse I should just abbreviate it. They say it's becoming more and more common to see a dude out there carrying some sort of purse. Now, personally, and I didn't mean to be cute with that, I have no problem with it. If you want to carry a purse, knock yourself out. And if anyone's got a problem with it, that's their friggin' issue, not yours.
It's just practical a lot of times.
You have one.
I have one of those crossbody ones. I use it in the summer sometimes for out at the lake or something like that.
Because you're wearing swim trunks?
Yeah, or and you don't want to get things wet. It just kind of comes in handy.
You never have to worry about getting anything wet. A lot of folks think this spike in popularity for the man purse for the 100th time is happening because it's less taboo for a man to do things that used to be more commonly associated with women's. Fair enough. Practical is the word that's used in here. Convenient. There's also, it says here, a popular episode of Friends. Never saw it! Where Joey starts carrying around what he refers to as a man bag, and they bust his chops by calling it a purse. Okay. So there you go.
Because it is handy, too, because I kind of miss when cargo pants were all the rage, because then you could just load those things up with a little bit of everything.
I friggin' loved and still love cargo pants. I wear them in the summer.
Mm-hmm. I've never had cargo pants, but cargo shorts, certainly.
Yeah, those two. Love them. I don't like wearing shorts much anymore, but the cargo pants, I still wear them every day in the summer. And I love the idea of being able to stuff, God knows, whatever I want into the 11 different pockets. I know it's a punchline now. I get smart mouth comments from younger people about my cargo pants. Don't care. So, really, honestly, if you're wearing one of those across-the-chest fanny packs, you got a gun in there?
Well, not everybody, but I was told.
Everybody?
Do I have a gun in
mine? You got to clean your ears out, son.
That's intimidating.
Not everybody. Someone here said the one specifically for that are tactical satchels.
Oh, tactical satchels?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those before at gun stores.
I want one of those.
Yeah, they make purses like that, too. It's pretty cool.
Well,
I want a tactical satchel. Everything I have now, I want to be tactical. Like I got my tactical tennis shoes, my tactical jacket.
All right. No. The answer is no to our friendly neighborhood garbage man, Jesus. No, I've never worn the zip-off cargo pants.
Those were kind of fun back in the day.
But my dad had a pair of those for fishing trips where he would begin the day in cargo pants, and then I would hear some zipping in the background out on the fishing boat, and suddenly he's wearing cargo shorts. Are those the ones where they unzip at the knee to turn into shorts?
Mm-hmm. There was one kid who tried to make a fashion statement by unzipping just one of the legs, and he got just ridiculed mercilessly.
Oh, so he was trying to start something.
Yeah, so half shorts, half pants.
That's the danger of starting a trend.
Yeah, you got to be really confident in yourself and just have the self-confidence to own it and pull it off. And he didn't, and oh, man, he got ripped.
I'll bet.
Wait a minute. What the hell are cargo socks? Are you kidding me?
What?
I don't own those, but I do own some tactical socks.
Well, you're trying to go in that direction. Everything tactical. Cargo socks? Are you telling me there's a pair of socks?
Oh, these are sweet.
That I can pull onto my feet. The next step, of course, is to put my flip-flops on top of those socks. There are pockets in the socks?
Yeah, this is really cool. They're like the size of your cell phone, just about.
Okay, big enough for my cell phone. That's pretty big.
How do your socks not fall off?
That's pretty big.
Yeah, they're cinched at the top.
Okay, I see them. They look very heavy duty. What was your question, Josh?
How did the socks not just fall down?
Right. Yeah, I imagine you'll be kicking the hell out of them in no time if you've got a cell phone in there. I mean, cell phones weigh a decent amount.
They call them calf mules.
Calf mules. Now, you gotta be someone who's carrying around a lot of this and that if you need to wear cargo socks. But again, I'm not against any of it.
I suppose maybe keeping your cash in there if you're going to Valley Fair for the day or something. I mean,
some tennis shoes.
Sweaty sock money. Or you put your weed in there.
That's where I used to put my weed in my shoes. Some tennis shoes have like little zippers on the inside of the tongue there.
Okay.
Yep.
You can put money in.
Isn't there a company that they make? Well, they not only do they make like sandals with bottle openers, but a lot of the footwear and different clothing they make is to store weed. I thought that was kind of their gimmick.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There's like a beach outfitter where a lot of the stuff you have, you can put weed in it. Book Collector Jesus, thank you for the text, and I know some people will get this reference. Mitch Rapp wears a fanny pack for his Glock. That's right, I forgot.
Oh.
Vince Flynn, probably my favorite author, one local guy. He's passed away, sadly. Wonderful author, Mitch Rapp, the main character. I forgot about that. He does.
If it's cool enough for Mitch Rapp, it's cool enough for the rest of us.
Dude, you're not kidding.
Now
I'm a badass.
I'm learning about cargo boxers. A couple listeners have texted in. They do not refer to their cargo pants as cargo pants. They call them adventure pants.
Cute.
Which sounds like fun.
Yeah, I like it with Crocs when you put them in adventure mode. Where you put the strap right back behind your heel. You know, you can fold it up or leave it down.
Right. I'm not putting anything of any value around my ankles or into the tongue of my tennis shoe. Or what else did we cover? Well, ankles, the cargo socks. I would just be so nervous. I'm not used to. But my damn. Oh, and some people are saying these cargo socks are really, honestly, all anyone's putting in there is their marijuana cigarettes.
That'd be my guess.
Okay.
Some people are saying you just get some sock suspenders with them. Sure. No, I want some tactical sock suspenders.
Oh, that'd be a hell of a
What do you
look.
attach those to? Just your shorts or
just below the knee?
Yeah, so just on whatever you're wearing.
At least that's what I think. There are a couple versions. I think there are some, Josh, where it is a garter belt, like we used to wear in hockey, to keep your socks up. You following what I'm saying here? But also, I think some of them just go around your calf, and you'd have no problem with your swole calves. It's the thickness of your calf that keeps the sock suspenders working.
All right, here's a couple that some of these are ridiculous that you attach to your T-shirt.
Jesus.
This one, it looks like it wraps around your waist.
Yeah, like a garter belt. Yeah, like I said.
But you said your whole waist? A garter belt's like your thigh.
Oh, not the ones we wore in hockey. The ones we wore in hockey, they wrap around your waist, little Velcro there below your navel, and they strap to the top of your hockey socks to keep your socks over your shin pads. That's what we wore in hockey. I was picturing maybe there'd be something similar for regular, everyday socks.
Boy, and some of them have like stirrups, too, where they go underneath the foot.
How are you doing as we approach your 50th birthday tomorrow? We got to take a break. On the topic, how are you doing with putting your socks on these days?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Gets harder and harder every day, man.
Well, I've got a guy for it, I guess, so I can't really take credit.
So you have no problem yet bending at the waist and putting your socks on?
No, I'm doing all right.
Dude.
It's starting to get pretty darn difficult for me.
Oh, my. Well, because you're pregnant?
Putting on a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, that's a little different.
I've noticed you must be making some poor food choices. And it's like right in the belly, too.
It's weird.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I could use some poontang myself right now.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Ah, man. That's my favorite drop. Little old Butters there.
Such a sweetheart.
He said he could use some poontang right about now.
I guess everybody gets in the mood. And seems a little young, but...
There's always something new, Josh. Every time you turn around, there's something new. We've been talking about, I guess specifically products that can help you tote around everything that you own. when you go summers. We started talking about the man purse. Folks texted in and said it's not a man purse, it's a merce. Others said you don't call it a man purse or a merce, you call it a satchel. And the story is that this is going to become very common now. Men are going to be walking around with purses. I couldn't possibly care less. Go ahead, wear a purse. But then we got into subjects that really blew my mind. There's so much that I don't know. Cargo socks. A couple listeners texted in and said they wear cargo socks. And you know what they keep in there, Josh?
What?
They're rubbers.
Oh.
Condoms.
There you go.
Fishing Crocs. There were many, many text messages on this subject. Many text messages have busted loose. Fishing Crocs. Now, what I believe is they're Crocs made that have little areas for your fishing lures. Okay? Your spinner baits, maybe a daredevil or two, okay? That sounds dangerous to me. I screw that up and I'm stepping on a hook.
Tackle Crocs.
Tackle Crocs, that's what they're called?
No, but they could be called that.
Oh.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm. Cargo boxers we heard about. And their slogan is, I guess, you put your junk in there. Cargo boxers.
I guess I have seen some of those athletic pants, those tight joggers maybe, that they have those thin pockets where you can slide a phone in right on the thigh.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of the leggings I'm wearing right now have those. I've heard of those boxers. Actually, my fiance has briefs that he said there's kind of like an extra pocket in the front so that it's like it kind of cups your balls better.
Oh, yeah, they make those.
You're talking about
he said it's life-changing. He loves them.
Ball cupping is always a welcome subject on this program. Are you talking about what do they call them? There's a catchy slogan. I thought they called them something.
Well, was it ball hugger?
Ball hugger?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, maybe. Okay. Your fiance wears briefs?
Are those just like boxers, but...
Boxer briefs, you mean?
Yeah, boxer briefs,
okay.
yes.
Thank God. I was going to ask you if he was 4 years
Oh,
old.
are those the little undies?
Banana hammocks.
Tiny
yeah.
whiteys?
No,
Tiny
no.
whiteys.
He does not wear those, no.
Batman and Superman on them.
Oh, my gosh.
We also called them ball huggers back in the day. But anyway, folks know what we're talking about. I've
ball
heard
hammocks.
Of the ball hammocks.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what it is.
That rings a bell. Josh, a listener says, don't you two, meaning you and I because we're older, remember in the 80s, kangaroo tennis shoes had a built-in zipper on the side. Yes, I do.
Dude, I remember those commercials, yeah.
I thought those were so stupid.
Yeah, even I didn't like those.
Up north, Metal Mullet Jesus says he and his brother had a pair of kangaroo tennis shoes in the 80s with the zipper on the side. Hobby photographer Sheezes texted in to say you keep talking about all these cool products for men. Women just want pockets for the love of Christ.
Yes.
I've heard that so many times. Why is it? And some of the clothes you have fake pockets like that don't even work.
Yeah, why don't they want to put
ridiculous.
pockets in women's clothing?
I have absolutely no idea. Maybe because it messes up the fit.
Oh, is it big purse?
Yeah, the clothing company and the purse companies are in cahoots.
It's got to be big purse.
It's gotta be,
for Christ's
dude.
sake, that is it, isn't it? Okay. I've heard of this. There are Crocs that have a beer bottle opener on them. Yes, I believe I've seen, or at least, I don't know what this guy's getting at. He says, I got cargo, but it's in the back of my underwear. What are you talking about? You pooped your pants or something? Or you got a big ass? I don't know what that guy means. Having a fanny pack at Valley Fair back in the day was a necessity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And back then, sometimes there were like those bright colors,
Yeah.
Everybody liked those ones.
Into the early 90s, they had all the neon color. I wore a fanny pack for a good stretch, a good year, and I always thought it was all right.
Well, there was that famous photo of The Rock, right, where he's got his fanny pack.
Oh, yeah.
That one shows up. That's become a meme.
Yeah, the big chain he's got on.
Yep.
It's also a popular Halloween costume, too.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
We talked about cargo pants. I still wear them up and down once the weather gets warm enough because it's kind of a thinner material, the cargo pants that I have. So that's why I wear them in the summer, not so much in the winter. I know young people make fun of it up and down, but I still wear the cargo pants. But here's a guy who says, straight up, nobody's gotten laid in cargo pants since Nam, he says.
Why is that? Why aren't they cool?
I don't know.
I like them.
I mean, yeah, not that I'm like a fashionista here or anything, but they don't seem uncool to me.
I think it's one of those things where it's one person decided they're no longer cool and everybody just followed along on the internet.
I like it because I can be like, all right, hey, can you hold this? Oh, can you also hold these keys? Can you also hold my wallet? Thank you.
It's funny. I love cargo shorts and stuff like that, but I hate things in my pockets. Like sometimes I'll wear a jacket just so I can put it in jacket pocket instead of my pant pockets.
Since Nam, he says. And finally, at least on my end of things, a listener or two texted in to say, forget about these pants and shorts with all the pockets in them. They say the cool look is a vest with many pockets in them.
Like a fishing vest?
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Okay.
I do like mine. It comes in handy, but I only wear it when I'm doing something outdoorsy.
Right. I always think, you look like you're going fishing. And I get my nuts busted when I put on a regular vest.
I'm not a fan of vests.
You don't? Why?
Like the puffy ones.
The winter vest?
Winter. That's it. A winter vest.
I've never liked them on myself, I guess. But I've also always said, why would you ever just want your core to be warm?
Because it does make a difference.
Aren't your arms cold?
No, because usually you're wearing like a hoodie. Trust me, I'm not wearing the winter vest and that's it. that would be. A friend of mine did that once, and
no.
I mean, my God, people launched into, complete strangers were launching into him. Because he had cool looking, he had pipes and everything, so he put on a vest and that was it. Oh my God, the entire bar attacked this guy.
Marty McFly all of a sudden is a nerd.
You see, that's the thing, is I do like to wear a vest over a hoodie or something, if it's sort of cold but not terribly cold, and everybody walks up and says, who are you, Marty McFly, and you're going to vote for Mayor Goldie Wilson here in a couple of weeks?
You're in my vote.
They always make the Back to the Future joke, and I still like wearing it.
I like the look. I don't think I could pull it off, but I like the look.
What do you mean you couldn't pull it off?
I don't know if I think I'd look stupid. You pull it off.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Barsaw Jesus said cargo pants. They're the Nickelback of clothes. People hate on them, but they actually rock.
Yes.
By the way, has anybody watched that I Hate Nickelback, or I forgot what it's called, on Netflix?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's great.
I want to check that out, though.
It's great.
It's a documentary?
Yeah. And they address that, just, what happened to them and not really understanding, having good senses of humor. I remember we interviewed them not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Chad and his brother, and oh, my God, it's killing me. I can't remember his brother's
Corky.
name. I don't think it was Corky.
Chad and Corky.
We talked to the two, and we had so many texts. You'll remember this, Nick, from people going, you know what? Gosh darn it, I can't hate them anymore.
It's very true.
Because they are so friendly and such just kind of normal, down-to-earth guys.
They're Canadians, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. You mentioned this documentary quite a stretch of time ago when it was being created or something. I would love to watch that.
You'd like it.
Because that whole story was so interesting, where every swinging D in town was buying Nickelback records, and then suddenly the internet said they weren't cool, and all those same sheeple followed along. Oh, those guys suck, and I didn't know anything about it, really. I just heard the jokes. I went and saw them in concert once or twice. They're freaking terrific.
They're incredible.
And like Josh said, they're the nicest group. I'm so happy that they would agree to do a documentary. A lot of bands wouldn't have the balls to do a documentary like this.
Yeah, they don't shy away from how tough that was and how hurt they were by that. But you're right, that band is tight. I mean, even if you don't, and by tight I mean they perform so well, they're on beat, on key, everything. And some of the coolest tones in their guitar, the drums are so loud.
Oh, that's funny. Cargo pants are the Nickelback of clothing. All right, that'll do it for us. Tomorrow's Cubby's big birthday broadcast.
Let's forget by then. Let's check our tactical texts here on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Shout out to Sharp as a bowling ball, Jesus, and the boys headed to St. Louis for Twins opening day tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Happy birthday to Idemill Still Sucks, Jesus. Happy 7th to Edmund. And happy birthday to Billy from Your Mom Pees Like a Girl, Jesus.
And one more for me, big birthday shout out to Robin. Not only did she turn 60 today, she comes to my mother-in-law in about 72 hours. Big week.
Lady.
Can't wait to party. Can't wait to party this weekend. But enough mushy stuff. Your shot to win free gas for a year right now, brought to you by Holiday Station Stores and Red Wing Shoes. Text in this keyword, honk. Honk. to 651-989-9393 for your chance to win $93 in free gas, plus you'll be qualified to win free gas for a year, courtesy of Holiday Station Stores and Red Wing Shoes. Again, that keyword is honk. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:40 a.m. for the big birthday broadcast. Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.